go as we head into the All-Star break. Getting ready for the game live at Naughty Barrel, leading you right up to the action. Plus, we're just 50 days from the kickoff of San Diego State football. Live from Naughty Barrel, it's Jon and Jim.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? Hour one, Jon and Jim, downtown Naughty Barrel, getting you ready for Padres and Braves. Another gorgeous day in America's finest city where it's about 70 degrees out this afternoon. We're at the Naughty Barrel. You need to get here. We're here for the next 3 hours. A lot of you have swung by over the last handful of weeks. The Padres are at home on Fridays. They've got happy hour going on. Jim, starting next hour. Now, you've had the Oklahoma Smash Burger.
Amazing.
It's only $7, beginning at 4 p.m.
It's well worth it.
Have you ever had the double Oklahoma Smash Burger?
No, I just had the single.
Well, the double is available during happy hour as well.
Okay.
They also have $7 specialty shots today, including a lemon drop, pickle me vodka, green tea.
I had the green tea.
You had a shot earlier today?
I did, yeah.
What?
Yeah, they had an extra green
We're
tea
in
shot.
Vegas for 48 hours. You don't do anything, and you take a shot today?
Yes, Sean.
Okay. And they have a peanut butter cup, but not just a peanut butter cup, like a shot, which is screwball peanut butter whiskey and coffee liqueur, maybe?
It's very good. Whoa.
Oh, it's a little windy, actually.
Yeah.
Right now.
I was about to say, you think we could have done the shows outside like this in Vegas yesterday?
Well, no, because it's 120 degrees.
It's a crazy 40-degree difference.
It's like a 45-degree difference, honestly. So we're at the Naughty Barrel. Please say hi. No, it is not downtown.
No, it's not.
Even close.
Not even
I bet
close,
it's
no.
70 degrees downtown. Right?
Yeah.
I'm going to look up San Diego downtown weather.
No, it's
Okay.
not even close to 82.
It says 74 right now.
yeah, with
so
the breeze,
74
it feels
degrees.
like 68.
Anyway, we're
69.
here until 6 p.m. All right, Naughty Barrel downtown, 9th and Market. Get here, say hello. We got some prizes as well. So swing by, say hello. We got stickers. We have prizes. Please say hi and swing by. So today, Mark Ziegler is going to join us at 4:30. We'll talk some Aztecs basketball. Kevin Acee, our Padres insider, as always on Fridays, will join us. He'll join us coming up at 4 p.m. Today is the official return of Xander Bogaerts. It's officially official. He is back today for the Padres. Coincidentally, against the Atlanta Braves, Jim, that's when he went out with the shoulder fracture, May 20th. It has been about 6 or 7 weeks. It has not been 2 months. Roughly 7 weeks from a shoulder fracture. We'll hear from Xander Bogaerts. He has met with the media coming up in a moment. But Xander, who was struggling the last time we saw him, trying to turn the tides for the Padres, Jim, who have lost 4 consecutive games. He will be back and in the lineup tonight for your San Diego Padres.
Now, is there a lineup out?
There isn't, but he is in the lineup tonight for the San Diego Padres.
So how do you know that?
Because he has spoken to the media.
Okay. No, I know he's in the lineup.
Yeah.
But it seems
He's going to come off the bench.
Seems like Brett Sullivan might be the player that's sent down. I don't know. They haven't sent out an official transaction yet. I know Shildt is speaking here in a little bit. This is the moment where we've been talking about for the last couple of weeks. Someone's going to have to take a seat. Somebody that's been playing good baseball is going to have to take a seat for Xander Bogaerts, who, let's face it, has been awful this season when he was out there and got injured, and now he's returning. So and he also makes a lot of money. So he's going to get out there. He's going to take the spot of probably Donovan Solano, most likely. And we'll see how it goes. I think if Xander automatically comes back and performs right away, then we won't have to worry about a thing. And that is the best case scenario for the Padres. He goes like 1 for 13 this series or 1 for 12 this series. You don't think we're going to be like talking all about that next week during the All-Star break about Xander Bogaerts and how, I'm not saying he's messing up the team chemistry, but taking a spot from a player who has performed way better than him this season in Donovan Solano. I mean,
well, we said we wouldn't.
I know we wouldn't.
We said we would give him at least a series
Right.
or two before we were highly critical of his performance if it isn't good.
But
so I don't think one series is going to be fair. And here's the other thing I would say. They haven't played well the last 4 games. So if they don't play well tonight, I doubt we're going to put it all on Xander Bogaerts. Now, if he's batted with the bases loaded 2 times and grounds out and grounds into a double play another time, I think that might be a story. But yeah, again, if Xander Bogaerts is coming back, then somebody is going to be sitting. And you're right, Donovan Solano has had a better year. This is a factual statement. Donovan Solano has had a better year than Xander Bogaerts. But Xander Bogaerts, the last time we saw him, was one of the worst position players in baseball. Maybe that now changes because he's had stretches. I know Darnay Tripp was on earlier here with J. Riff and Fletch talking about, he had his first month as a Padre. He had his September last year as a Padre. He can put together 30, 40 good days. Is he going to do it now? Hopefully, because it feels like an impactful time. You're heading into the All-Star break. It's a series you would love to get because you've lost 4 consecutive games. But there's no other way to look at it. I mean, Xander's going to play, which means Donovan Solano presumably is not going to play. And if it's not Solano, it's going to be someone else that's probably been more productive than Bogaerts because everyone has been more productive than him.
It could be a good problem to have, or it could be a really bad problem to have because Xander could turn into and stay the player that he was when he was out there healthy this year. If he continues to do that, where are you going to, first off, play him? Probably second base, most likely, no matter what, right?
Yeah.
And then you're going to still hit him 5th in your lineup, no matter what? I don't know about,
I don't know about
that.
that. Yeah, I don't know about that.
Yeah. So they have some questions they have to have answered. I think there's a lot of pressure on Xander returning here to perform because he's not taking over for a guy like Bryce Johnson in the outfield or Tyler Wade, who plays a lot of the infield and whatever. Like he's taking over for a guy that if frankly the team was better with than you. So there's pressure on him to perform. And for everybody's sake, I hope he does, just because it's not going to be fun to talk about if he continues to be the Xander before his injury.
No, I agree. So he was on this rehab assignment between single A and triple A. He started in triple A, then finished up in Lake Elsinore, and he was a combined 6 for 23. And I know played well yesterday, had a couple of hits. He was 6 for 23. I don't know what that is because it's between 2 stops, 260. Something like that, in 6 games, whatever it's worth.
He was better than what he would do here, yeah.
Yeah, he was hitting as a Padre .219 with a .265 OPS. Now, this is a Padres team he joins that has been completely flat at home, inexplicably, for 4 consecutive games. I mean, they had the biggest moment, arguably, of their season, 12-3 over 15 games. Manny Machado walks off. That was this homestand. And since then, they've fallen flat on their face. They've lost 4 consecutive games. The last time we saw them, they were shut out at home in a day game against Seattle. They've had 4 hits or fewer in a couple of games during this losing streak. Hopefully it doesn't get worse than that. They played well against Atlanta in Atlanta. They won 3 out of 4. Nobody wants to see this team go into the All-Star break losing 2 out of 3 or more this weekend here at Petco Park. It's as simple as that.
And you said inexcusably losing 4?
Inexplicably. Not inexcusably.
Inexplicably losing 4 straight. I don't know about that one because kind of that's who they are. Like, they are a team of streaks. Too Much Morton's on Twitter put it out for us and for everybody. The Padres' past stretches starting from May 26th. Listen to this: 5-1, 0-5, 5-1, 0-5, 12-3. That stretch.
That's kind of long, isn't it? 12-3.
It is 0-4. Now it's not like the worst thing because if you look at if you put the 12-3 stretch in there, they're
12-7.
12-7.
Yeah, but who saw it? It is inexplicable because if you would have told me we're on a wrap-up show, Manny Machado walks off.
Yeah.
How much money would I have needed to give you to say they're going to lose their next 4 games? You would say no, they're not.
Yeah, because I thought their peaks and valleys were over with. I thought the 5-game losing streaks followed by really good stretches, back to back. I thought those were days of the past. Like even if they just go 2-2 in their last 4 games, that's great. 14-5 in their last 19 games.
Exactly.
It's perfect. And they're 4 games up or 4 games over 500, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, it is who they are.
Mm-hmm.
Like that 12-3 stretch, I hope isn't an outlier. Like if say they lose 2 or 3 this weekend and they come back and then they win 5 out of 6 start the road trip.
They'd be 6 over 500. Because 2 more wins is 2 less losses, which is a swing of 4. If they were 2-2 in their last 4, they'd be a season high 6.
Yeah, I can't do math.
Over 500.
I can't do math.
Yeah, I know you can.
But yeah, you just hope that 12-3 stretch that they had in there, where Manny was nuclear hot.
He was.
That you hope that's not the outlier, and that's not the only stretch they're going to play really, really good baseball in the rest of this season, or are they going to continue to go win 5 out of 6 and then lose 5 out of 6, or win 5 in a row and then lose 5 in a row, or go 5-1 and then go 1-5? Like that's been who they are this season. Like, that's the Padres. The Padres are the definition of roller coaster.
They are, and we talked about this yesterday from Las Vegas at Circa, where we were for Mountain West Media Days. If the season was actually over, the Padres would miss the postseason. Now it's by percentage points. They're technically tied with the New York Mets. The good thing is it isn't. They have 66 games to play, so there's a ton of baseball for both the Padres and teams that are in front of them and behind them. Let's hear from Xander Bogaerts. So he is back. He has been rehabbing. He played 6 games between AAA and Single A. He's in the clubhouse this afternoon. The Padres are getting set for the Braves game 1 here at Petco Park. This is part of a media scrum. The sound from our very own Marty Caswell. Let's take a listen.
I mean, I felt good. You know, what do you want me to say? It's like, are we going to waste 3 days of me just feeling good, you know, just hanging around and like us or no? So I feel good, man. I feel good, and let's see how it goes. If I didn't feel good, we probably have to stay back.
You expect to be at second base most days coming back, or do you think they'll ease you in with some DHs?
Yeah, that I don't know. Yeah, I don't know that one. I don't know.
Do you feel like you'd be ready to play second base most days right now?
Most days, yeah. You know, maybe to start, maybe not all the days, you know, but in the end, I think most days, yeah. I mean, I've been playing in the field my whole career, so I mean, I think it's pretty normal for me to be able to play in the field. But maybe in the beginning, you know, you never know.
What do you make of where this team is right now? What kind of impact you can make coming back down the stretch?
Listen, a couple of days ago, we were in a great spot, you know, and maybe we're not in a great spot, we're still in a good spot, you know. Can't control what happened in the past few games. You know, obviously we played a pretty tough team with some good pitching with the Mariners. Turn the page quick on that, and we have a good team in front of us. I think they have the first wild card spot, right, these guys? So it's going to be pretty much playoff atmosphere, you know, in July. So we're trying to play catch up with these guys. Obviously, I've been seeing from afar. We have a really good team. We've been playing really good. Besides the last couple of games, that's baseball. And hopefully we can end the All-Star break on a high note. You know, I mean, these guys, they're a pretty good team, but so are we.
Does that factor into the equation that let's not waste 3 days like elsewhere when you can help the team aging out?
I mean, I think it's pretty fair to say they could probably do it without me, you know. But I still know what I am as a player, know who I am, and I know what I can contribute, and obviously I know how much I can help out. And as I say, if I felt bad, I probably wouldn't do it, you know, but feeling good, I mean, boys ready to roll, you know.
Did you play a full game in the field?
Nah, 7? Nah, it doesn't. Because you're not factoring the adrenaline, you know. You're not. So, especially with our team, the way we play towards the ending of the games, you know, I mean, you guys see it on a daily basis, 7, 8, 9 inning. I mean, we always in the fight, you know, so you got to factor all of those things in it, you know, and I think the body will respond good to that.
What do you thought of the way the team has played as a whole with all the different injuries they've gone through? Not just yours, Fernando at certain points, Manny Machado, just it's been on the pitching side as well.
I'd say really well, to be honest. You know, I mean, as I said, we could be better. We played some tough teams, and we had some tough losses. We also had some really good wins. You know, a lot of comeback wins. And I think the biggest thing with us as a team is that we don't really feel like we're out of the game. You know, it doesn't matter if it's the 7th, the 8th, or the 9th. I mean, we feel like we're going to come back, you know, either like the last game, you know, if that ball from Peralta falls in, I mean, the game's probably tied, you know. So we're always in it. We have a really good, resilient group. That's a very great attribute to championship caliber team. So, I mean, that's a pretty good one to start with.
Is that for you the biggest difference of this team than what you guys were last year?
Yeah. And I mean, I wouldn't say last year, like, oh, once it's 7, 8, 9, and we're losing, oh, we're going to give up. No, you know, sometimes you hit the ball, it falls in the hole, you know, and sometimes you hit it and it doesn't. So, I mean, it's just the same thing with that. It's just baseball, you know. And last year we had a really good team, but obviously some of the stuff didn't fall the way we wanted to. And it wasn't about work ethic or any of that. I mean, we practiced real hard. We focused. As I said, just sometimes it falls right where it needs to go. And this year has been happening a lot more.
Wow, he sounds thrilled to be back. He's very honestly, he's very thoughtful.
Yeah.
He really is. And I actually have enjoyed his conversations with the media.
Yeah.
I think he's very well spoken. I think he's very transparent, and he is back. And whether people, you know, like it or not, the timing is odd. Let's be honest. You missed 2 months and you return the series before the All-Star break. That's very odd timing, but it is Xander Bogaerts. It's $280 million. It's a 2-time champ, and truth is, they're going to go where he goes too. He's going to play a lot from here on out, and how he plays is going to potentially impact where they go.
And yeah, the one thing about Xander that you can't say is that he's not truthful and honest and really good with the media, frankly. Like, he tells you how it is. He's not going to sugarcoat things. He's not going to be combative with you. He's not going to try to make you look like an idiot if you ask a certain type of question to him.
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to get offended by certain words that are said to him. He's just going to tell you how it is. And I respect the hell out of that from Xander Bogaerts. Honestly, I just wish that his play would also match how truthful and all. Like, I wish everything would come together.
Because he'd been one of the most well-liked Padres.
Right. And that's how he was viewed in Boston, as one of the most beloved Red Sox in the last decade.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, you just saw what they were in Boston. You heard it from Will Fleming, who was on with us when they took on the Red Sox a couple weeks ago. And he mentioned there, like, it could be easy for me. Like, I'm team's playing well, and why should I not return? Like, I shouldn't. He believes in himself. He believes that he can help this team. He says he feels fully healthy. So, like, why keep sitting? Because think about this, though. If he decided to not play this series, or tell the Padres, like, I'll just take the next week off here, I know the All-Star break, and I'll get back going for the All-Star game.
Yeah.
Then you're still in wherever, Lake Elsinore or something, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But when does their season, the first half end, or is their first half keep going?
No, there may be a coinciding All-Star break, but I mean,
because the Futures game.
But that doesn't matter either way, because even if he took the week, he takes the week, because here he's going to stay for 4 days in the major leagues. They're not playing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. There are stops in the minor leagues where they're playing. Maybe not all 4 of those days, but 2 or 3 of those days.
I get that, but maybe his mindset is, look, I feel healthy enough and ready to go. I took some at bats down in the minors, 24 or whatever.
Yep.
And I want to be as ready to go for the second half as I possibly can. So instead of taking at bats in the minors, why not come up to the big leagues and face Major League pitching and see if I can help this team as much as I possibly can, because it feels like he can. It's just we haven't seen it yet. That's the problem.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's never a perfect time if a team is playing well and someone has been on the IL and replacing a player that's playing well. But because of that, I'm all for it. When I said take your time, and I meant it, I just meant be fully healthy. I didn't mean don't play the guy. He's making $27 million a year. Of course he's going to play. Yeah. And I'm telling you right now, no matter what happens, they're going to find spots for him in the final 66 games of the year. And I'd be very surprised if they don't. He's not going down to a part-time player in year 2 of an 11-year deal. Xander Bogaerts is seen in the clubhouse as a leader, and he's seen by the organization as someone that has to play, whether you like it or not. I'm not telling you Donovan Solano hasn't had a better season. He has. But I'm telling you, Xander Bogaerts, well, he might not play in the field every day. He's coming off a significant shoulder injury. Yep. So I'm sure they'll work him back in. But once you get into August and September, he's not the part-time player for Donovan Solano. They're going to have to figure it out with players around him. We talked about the platoon possibility for like a Solano and a Cronenworth. I mean, if he hits 100, that's another conversation. But he hit 220. He was playing every single day before he got hurt. Yeah. If he hits 220 now that he's back, I don't think that means he's not going to be playing in the second half of the year.
When the Padres weren't struggling, but they were up and down when Xander was playing. I mean, a little over 500, under 500. Like, they just never got to a good point with Xander, it felt like. What was the main discussion we had almost every day about that team and the players on it performing? I think it was a lot of Xander Bogaerts. So, like we said, we will give him some time to get back into it. We'll give him a benefit of the doubt. Only going to last so long. We're not going to say, we'll give him till at least, middle of August or the end of July. Like, get a couple series here at the most. And if you don't start performing, the conversation will be, and if the team is also losing, that's like the worst case. He doesn't perform, team doesn't perform, they're not winning. With Xander out there, they were winning and doing better, whatever you want to say better was, without Xander. That's just a tough spot to be in, and I hope for his sake he goes out and performs, because, man, if those things happen, it's not going to be.
Yeah, also, listen, it's completely unfair if the Padres don't play well this weekend and Xander Bogaerts is one of the players that doesn't perform at the plate. to put it on Xander Bogaerts.
They were already
I'm
playing
saying,
back
I'm
and
just
forth.
telling you that's wrong. Like you cannot put a series on a player coming back from an injury who's been out for 2 months. He wasn't playing well previously. Now, to your point, if we look up at 10 or 15 or 20 games, the team isn't playing well and he's not performing. Of course, he's a professional athlete and he's a public figure, and it's the San Diego Padres. They play in front of these large crowds. Of course, people are going to be critical, but let's be honest. I mean, again, he might go 4 not lead them to a victory, but even if he goes 0 for 4 and they lose, to put it on Xander Bogaerts, everyone has an 0 for 4. Here. Look at the last 4 games. Many Stars has 1 hit in 5 bats, and the team is 0 for 4. So it's a part of the season. We're asking a lot of Xander Bogaerts. I don't know if it's completely fair over the course of like 1 day or 1 series or even 1 week. I mean, I know it's not. Truthfully, even if people are going to be critical.
I mean, and on the flip side, what is Xander does? Like that is he is a guy that is a career around 300 hitter. You can do it that way. You're getting the guy back that who did not have a good first half of the Padres until he got injured, and hopefully this is a reset, and hopefully he can start performing. What if he does? That would be a massive boost. Let's be real here. I know that Don Pronto has played better than Xander Bogaerts this year. Xander Bogaerts is a better player than Don. We can agree on that, right?
Sure.
So if you get good Xander, that could be a massive boost for this team because Corey was not Tatis for who knows how long. There's no update on that. There will never be an update on that until it gets close to when he returns. And frankly, they're not going to tell us jack or what about the full extent of Tatis. When we see him, we'll see him. Reports right now are saying it's probably closer to September than it is the beginning of August. You get good Xander back, you get one of your quote unquote big 3 back in the lineup because right now it's the Manny. And as Manny goes, the team goes. Over the last 4 games, Manny has had 1 hit. You know, 0 and 4, it's not a surprise. When Manny doesn't perform, the team. So hopefully Xander can be good Xander, and it just solves a lot of issues.
Maybe, because honestly, good Xander is a lot like good Solano this year.
You're
Solano's
right. Yeah, I get
750
it.
OPS
I
is
get it.
basically
Yeah.
Bogaerts 2023.
I get it.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens, and it's fascinating. We'll see it. The lineup's going to come out momentarily for the Padres in game 1 of the series against the Braves. We'll share that with you on the other side. What are you expecting from Xander Bogaerts? Do you have high hopes or not based on what you saw to start the year? Kevin Acee is going to join us at 4 p.m. Mark Ziegler will join us at 4:30. We're at the Naughty Barrel, downtown San Diego at 9th and Market. Happy hour going on from 4 to 6. Come by, say hello. Continuing coverage from downtown, right by Petco Park. After this on Jon and Jim. All right, so sports fans, listen up. We have found paradise, and it's Circa Las Vegas. We were there this week, live from Mountain West Football Media Days. Truly a sports lover's dream. It's got the largest sports book in the country and Stadium Swim, which is just an incredible rooftop pool with massive outdoor video boards. You can watch all the games across all sports. It's open every single day of the year. And the other good news is that Circa's 21 plus, so there's nothing to worry about other than sports. Speaking of which, the biggest pro football contest in Vegas, it's back. Circa Survivor and Circa Million, now up to $16 million in guaranteed prizes, 2 ways to win and no rake. Circa Survivor contestants select 1 team each week with no point spread. Last the longest to win it all. $10 million guaranteed for the winner. In Circa Million, make 5 picks against the spread each week for your share of $6 million guaranteed. Quarterly and full season payouts. Enter in Nevada, play from anywhere, including right here in San Diego. Visit circasports.com for details.
This update's brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Padres and Braves start a 3-game series tonight at Petco Park. 6:40 first pitch. The 3 games here will finish up the first half of the season, and the All-Star game will be on Tuesday, where Paul Skenes will be the starter for the National League. He was announced this morning on the Dan Patrick Show. And moving over to NBA, Jalen Brunson just signed a 4-year contract extension with the New York Knicks for $156 million. It's $113 million less than he was eligible to get next season if he just waited. Progressive makes the bundling easy and affordable. Get a multi-policy discount by combining your motorcycle, RV, boat, ATV, and more. All your protection in one place. Bundle and save at progressive.com. It's progressive.com.
We're counting down to game time and the All-Star break. There's only one place to be with the Fanatics heading into the weekend. Naughty Barrel, 844 Market Street. A preview for the series with the Braves at Petco. Live from Naughty Barrel, it's Jon and Jim.
All right, Kevin Acee, Padres Insider, will swing by at 4 p.m. Mark Ziegler on Aztec's Hoops. Practice underway for next season already. He'll join us at 4:30. We are at the Naughty Barrel. Happy hour gets underway in about 25 minutes at 4 p.m. $7 specialty shots, $7 Oklahoma smash burgers as well. Join us at 9th and Market. As we said, it's official. Xander Bogaerts is back in the lineup for the Padres. He will play at second base, bat behind Manny Machado tonight, per Dennis Lynn of The Athletic. So Bogaerts is back. That doesn't mean he's going to play second base all 3 games of this series, as he just told the media. We heard that about 15 minutes ago. But tonight, you've activated Xander Bogaerts officially. He's back in the field playing second base. What does that mean for Jay Cronenworth and Luis Arraez? We're going to find out probably momentarily when the lineup comes out.
Yes. I would assume this means Xander's probably hitting 5th tonight if he's hitting behind Manny.
Machado, yep.
Probably a lineup of Luis Arraez.
At DH?
Maybe. I would say Luis Arraez, you're probably right. DH Arraez hitting leadoff. I would say Profar's hitting second, Cronenworth third, Manny 4th, Bogey 5th, Merrill 6th. Probably Peralta 7th, Kimmy 8th, Higgy 9th.
Right, yeah.
Something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
You're facing a righty. Cronenworth will be in there. Arraez will be in there.
Right.
And, I mean, I'd be shocked. I'd be shocked if Donovan Solano's in the starting lineup.
I would be too. He's not going to be. I don't think so. Again, yeah, you're right. I'd be shocked as well.
I mean, again, he's going to pinch hit. You know what I mean? Like, he's going to get opportunities.
He's a weapon off the bench.
Yeah,
for sure.
Maybe Xander's not playing 9 innings every single game, or maybe there's an opportunity again when you got a left-handed reliever and you spell someone like Jake Cronenworth or Luis Arraez to get, a good professional bat from someone like Donovan Solano. But in terms of starting games against right-handed pitching, that's not going to happen. They'll probably find room for him against left-handed pitching, would be my guess. It'll work itself out. It does, and it will. Yeah. The only way it doesn't work itself out is if they don't pick themselves back up off the mat. They need to win games. Yep. So that's all that really matters. If Solano sits and they win, who cares? If Bogaerts sits and they win, who cares? If they lose is when this thing really does become problematic, and they're staring at a 5-game losing streak again right now. They've had 3 this year. They're looking at potentially a 4th if they don't win tonight. Matt Waldron, by the way, on the mound for the Padres. He's been a bit of a stopper this year for San Diego, and they need him to be a stopper here tonight in one of the series.
And they're facing a guy with a 5 ERA tonight in the Braves.
Yep.
Don't even ask me how to pronounce his last name.
Schwellenbach? I think that's right.
I don't know. 5 ERA. This team does well against right-handed pitching.
Mm-hmm.
Over the course of the season, I know it didn't happen on Wednesday, but the course of this year, they have been really good against right-handed pitching. Nick Cronenworth, look at his split. He's an all-star player against right-handed pitching. Left-handers, he's as good as me and you. So I think the off day was good for them. I know they had an event last night at Petco Park. So hopefully that was like clear your mind type of thing. When you go out and play good baseball here, they already took 2, 3, or 4 from them earlier this season. Go out there, take 2 or 3 again here versus the Braves, finish up the first half 3 over, and you're saying to yourselves, if you're Padres, we are in a good position. And I think fans will be saying the same thing as well.
Yeah, I mean, Xander Bogaerts with the media when we played it 20 minutes ago was like, we were in a great spot 4 days ago, and we're still in a good one. And I don't disagree with it because it's not a bad spot, but I don't know how good of a spot it is. They are in a complete dogfight. Now, it's July, but they're in a complete dogfight in the National League where they have work to do. They've won nothing. They've given nothing away. But it's not like it's the Padres that one other team to make the postseason. The Padres are trying to fend off teams like Arizona, the New York Mets, the St. Louis Cardinals, with the others with balls. Pittsburgh has been bad. Cincinnati.
Who they face, I think, 6 times in August.
Well, that's another thing. I mean, that stretch of Pittsburgh, Colorado, and Miami includes a team that right now is game behind you.
And you're right to face false teams potentially twice if things match up with their play.
Yeah, it's absolutely a possibility, which it is.
Be a problem.
So, one series at a time. One series at a time. And we'll see if they can find a way to win a series this weekend against Atlanta. There has also been, expectations for Atlanta were kind of like expectations for the Dodgers. They're one of the better teams in baseball. It hasn't played out. In fact, if the Padres were to have a good weekend against Atlanta, they're 4 games behind the Braves.
The Braves are a team. They're 51-41, but like you said, they expect to be a team that's competing for division, competing for the best record in the National League, being one of the best teams in the National League. I do think, though, John, with teams like the Braves, like the Dodgers, like I think the Phillies, that's it. It doesn't really matter what you do in the regular season as long as you get in. And those 3 teams will get in. It's about what you do in the postseason.
Yeah, and for the Padres.
Yeah. I mean, if the Padres make the postseason and say they lose the first round in 3 games, they lose in the second, third game, wherever it is, right? Yeah, we'll be disappointed, but we won't be like sky is falling if it were the Dodgers who make the postseason and lose the division round.
Yeah,
it's a different bar, and I hate it because the Padres have invested so much that bar should be lowered,
right?
Because
they're
not
arguing
playing
my fault.
But at the same time, like I know I am. I'm definitely arguing your point, and I'm saying for those 3 teams, though, and you said it too. Like, it doesn't matter what you do in the regular season, you do the postseason.
So I kind of feel like that's just baseball, where it's a little bit of college basketball, where people look up in March and determine if it's a good season based on whether you win the tournament. Baseball used to be only 4 or 6 teams got into the postseason. Now that it's 12, it's basically determined. You go 83 and 79, but win the World Series. I don't think there's a lot of 83 and 79.
If the Padres win 83 games and they make game 5 lose, do you think we're sitting here saying it's a successful season?
I would guess it. I would think most people think that's the divisional round being at the second round after the wild card round.
The Dodgers win 93 games. Disaster.
I mean, if you're the Dodgers, you have to win a World Series. You've got $1 billion.
Yeah,
you got Shohei Ohtani. You're 7 games better than the Padres. LA, they haven't exactly stamped their ticket. Much their ticket as yet. They've been pedestrian. They were supposed to be historically good. They haven't been. Atlanta was supposed to survive for a division, like you said. They're not. They're 10 games behind the Phillies right now. So this is an opportunity for both of these teams. I would say it like this: for the Padres to have lost 4 straight, if you win the series or even do better and sweep this series, you also win the series, you are vying for a top wild card spot. If you lose this series, or dare I say, get swept in this series, you're in trouble potentially heading to the All-Star break because now you're under 500, and the work that you did in 15 games, all gone, and you are hanging on by a thread just to make sure that work you did does not get wasted with the waste this weekend. So yeah, it's a big series. It's not a must-win series, but it's a much-needed win series. And they are definitely hanging on for dear life to make sure that the stretch that they had, when they were smoking red hot, isn't put to waste literally a week later. Like, think about that. You go 12-3, and then you're staring down and immediately giving it up. Yeah, hopefully not. But you're right. I mean, if they don't win this series, they go 1-6 or worse over a 7-game stretch. You're basically giving it back. Which is the worst possible scenario. I think the division a week ago, but that just proves the roller coaster that they're on here in 2024. On the other side, Mike Shildt is speaking with the media. We will hear from Mike Shildt at some point here during Jon and Jim. Also, Kevin Acee is our Padres insider. He'll join us at 4. Mark Ziegler on Jaden Ledee's Summer League debut today for the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Aztecs 2024-25 roster. He'll join us at 4:30. We're at the Naughty Barrel. Happy hour begins in 20 minutes. Stay with us on Jon and Jim. All right, we're going to hear from Mike Shildt coming up. Plus, Kevin Acee, our Padres insider, will join us at 4 p.m. You're getting ready for Padres and Braves. We're with you until 6. Stay with us.
weekend begins at Naughty Barrel with a look at the series with the Braves, plus a look back at the first half. Is A.J. Preller looking to make a move before the deadline? All that and more. Now back to Naughty Barrel with Jon and Jim.
All right, Kevin Acee, our Padres insider, on the return of Xander Bogaerts on the upcoming trade deadline, will join us in 13 minutes at 4 p.m. Mark Ziegler on the Aztecs will join us at 4:30. We'll hear from Mike Shildt as well. We're at Naughty Barrel downtown, 9th and Market. Join us. Happy hour gets underway in 13 minutes. Now, you mentioned, I think, in your update or earlier that Paul Skenes has been announced as the National League All-Star starter. That was on the Dan Patrick Show. That was announced.
Yep.
What's interesting here is what happened yesterday with Skenes. He goes 7 hitless innings. They take him out of the game. He can even throw 100 pitches.
99 pitches.
99 pitches is a lot. We get it. Major baseball. This is far from the first instance of that. We've seen it dozens of times over the last 10 years. They're thinking about the second half of their season. They're only 2 games out of the playoffs right now, or 2.5 games out. So Paul Skenes, and it's amazing how big of a national story has been. Pittsburgh, of all teams, that have been bad basically for the last quarter century, outside of like a team or two. Paul Skenes has bursted onto the national scene. He's stolen all the rookie spotlight. Something like Jackson Merrill that's consistently produced. Yeah. You can't compare the national discussion between Merrill, who's had a really damn good year, and Paul Skenes has also been really good, but he's getting all the headlines.
Yeah, it's not going to be close. I mean, if Paul Skenes finishes off this year, continue to do what he does, and it won't be close. It won't be close. I mean, even if he gets shut down at the end of August, which I don't think he will. I mean, maybe he does. I don't know.
It'll probably be September, right?
Like middle of September.
Yeah, he doesn't make his last 2 starts.
If the Pirates aren't in it, like
they're
if
9
7,
out.
Yeah, 9 out, like what's the point type of thing. It won't matter. Paul Skenes is going to be the rookie of the year, and he absolutely deserves it. I'm not saying Jackson Merrill does either,
right?
But like, you got to pick choose here. And Paul Skenes is doing some things that are pretty incredible for a rookie. Like all-time stuff for a rookie. His ERA is almost under 2. His WHIP is under 1. His batting average is insane. He has it, and it also helps that like his lifestyle too. I mean, he's a very like chill guy, but he's also dating one of the most popular women in the world, in Livy Dunn. I know it's the Pittsburgh Pirates, and it's not traditionally like the biggest market per se, but good for baseball for taking this guy and promoting him. I don't know if Torey Lovullo like was told by anybody like, hey, maybe we start Paul Skenes here? But good on Torey Lovullo for making that move.
No, it's good marketing. I agree with
100%. I want to see him face the best players.
Let me ask you this. So the Padres do better than this when they face Paul Skenes for a first time, which will happen in August, presumably, right? Because they play the Pirates 6 games, so they're going to face them.
Yeah.
Will they do better than this? Okay, 6 innings, 7 hits, 4 runs, all earned, 3 walks, 5 Ks. Would you take that from the Padres facing Paul Skenes? He goes 6 and allows 4 runs. You would take that, right?
Yeah.
Paul Skenes, before he went to LSU, played at the Air Force Academy for 2 years.
Okay.
His last appearance against San Diego State, May 6, 2022, was 6 innings, 7 hits, 4 runs.
Whoever's on that team, bring him up.
Isn't that amazing? That was just 2022. Here in San Diego at Tony Gwynn Stadium, 6 innings, 7 hits, 4 runs, all earned, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts. That was Paul Skenes at Air Force. He left for LSU. He then was the first overall pick. 1 year at LSU after 2 years at Air Force, where he was a great two-way player. Who would have ever envisioned that? If I would have told you 2 years ago at this time, a baseball player at the Air Force Academy would be the talk of Major League Baseball. That's the amazing thing about sports. Very unpredictable stuff. Things like this occur. The fact that it's the talk of baseball, honestly, to some extent, surprised me. He was even the talk of baseball when he was drafted. And then the quickest ascent. And again, he's not playing for the Dodgers or the Yankees. He's playing for the Pirates. But like you said, the numbers are historically good. You put it for 2 ERA, and you do that as a rookie, as the first overall pick, people are going to pay attention. They are.
Do you have – we'll talk about it actually, but is there anybody else you would have considered over Paul Skenes?
First overall pick?
Like to start the All-Star game?
Oh, I got you. I'm sorry. I'm looking at the first overall pick. I have absolutely no idea. To start the All-Star game for the National League, I'd have to see the list of players on the roster. I mean, I have no problem with it. I think it makes sense. You're trying to sell the game, right? You're not trying to win the game. You're trying to get people to a television.
right, so here's going to throw it in. Wow, I don't have it in front of me. I can't think of any name off the top of my head. It's more marketable right now. Like you ignore the Rangers Suarez.
Well,
But
it's about like a feel, right?
yeah, definitely. Tyler Glasnow's on the IL. Logan Webb has had a
Right.
decent season, but not like a all-star starter season. I think that it's good for the game.
Right.
I think if you have a problem with Paul Skenes starting the game,
Do people have a problem with it?
I think John, no one
Well,
can.
people have a problem with everything.
People have a problem with everything. Like no one can agree on one thing universally ever.
So okay, so Hunter Green, right?
Yeah, he was a replacement.
Shota
last night.
Imanaga.
Yeah, no.
Chris Sale's been amazing. Ranger Suarez has been amazing.
Yeah.
Zach Wheeler's had a great year. I have
Yeah.
no problem with it. We're talking about an all-star starter who will throw the same number of innings as everyone else in the game.
Yeah, and it's beneficial for the Pirates because it keeps Paul Skenes, I think, on regular rest. Also, he prepares like a starter instead of preparing to come out of the bullpen. So it's a little different when a starter has to get ramped up and he comes out of the bullpen in like the second inning, which is like six of these guys, which is a lot. Yeah, right. But also, those guys are
Veteran pitchers, yeah.
Paul Skenes is very young, a rookie, and for baseball's sake, they need to take care of this guy because baseball needs him. They need him to perform. The number one overall pick in your sport is doing this. They need him to stay healthy. They cannot have a situation where his arm blows out.
Yeah, hopefully Jackson Merrill, though, steals the spotlight.
That'd be awesome.
All-Star game.
Yeah.
As the rookie for the National League. Kevin Acee is our Padres insider. He'll join us on the other side. Mark Ziegler from the UT also will join us at 4:30. Get to the Naughty Barrel on this beautiful afternoon. Padres and Braves coming up at 6:40. Game one of a 3-game series. Happy hour starts in 5 minutes. We're here until 6. Hour 2 of Jon and Jim next.
All right, this update is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Padres, they return to action tonight at Petco Park, 6:40 first pitch. Matt Waldron on the mound for the Padres. Xander Bogaerts is back in the lineup. He's been activated off the IL. He'll play second base tonight, and he will hit fifth behind Manny Machado. Moving over to other news in baseball today. Today on the Dan Patrick Show, Torey Lovullo called in and announced that Paul Skenes, while Paul Skenes was being interviewed by Dan, is going to be the starter for the National League in the All-Star game this coming Tuesday in Texas. And early this afternoon, NBA news, Jalen Brunson signed a 4-year, $156 million contract extension with the Knicks, leaving $113 million on the table. He would have got that much money if he's just waited and signed a contract next year. Progressive makes bundling easy and affordable. Get a multi-policy discount by combining your motorcycle, RV, boat, ATV, and more. All your protection in one place. Bundle and save at Progressive.com. That's Progressive.com.
The Friar Fanatics are out with the Braves in town for the weekend at Petco as we head into the All-Star break. Getting ready for the game live at Naughty Barrel, leading you right up to the action. Plus, we're just 50 days from the kickoff of San Diego State football. Live from Naughty Barrel, it's Jon and Jim.
Okay, you made it back. Jon and Jim, live with Naughty Barrel. Did you have to run, Jon?
Not at all. I walked because you left with 2 minutes to go in the break. I had to stay here in case you weren't back for the update.
Forgot.
So I'm like, well, if you're going to do that, I'm just going to leave during the show.
So if you're wondering what's going on.
Yeah, we had to get parking. I mean, we're parked on the street. It's 2-hour parking. So we went to get our parking. It's all good. And Kevin Acee is going to join us coming up momentarily. Mark Ziegler will join the show coming up at 4:30. No tickets for either of us.
None, no.
Yeah, perfect.
Well, here's the thing. My meter expired at 3:56. So when I got there, it was like a minute over or 2 minute over. And so then I put in another, I guess, $7 or whatever. And I'm good until 6. So we're good to go.
Yeah, exactly.
But I had to run. I was kind of out of breath during the update.
Well, I bet you were because you were running back. Yeah. All right. What'd you say, Brett? All right, let's do it. All right, Kevin Acee is our Padres insider. Padres Braves game 1 of this 3-game series at 6:40 inside Petco Park. Kevin, always appreciate it. Let's start with Xander Bogaerts back in the lineup, activated before the All-Star break, as you had been reporting, I think, really for weeks, that he was hoping to return before the All-Star break. Do you have any reaction to the timing of that, him coming back for 3 games and then the team obviously breaking for 4? What do you make of the timing?
Well, if you're paying a guy $25 million and you basically, if you're the Padres, have to hope that Xander Bogaerts is going to be worth that, then you'll take every game you can get with him. Plus, gives him 3 games. And so then, presumably better chance to hit the ground running in the second half. So I don't think if he's ready, you play him. I mean, this is kind of no different than, Manny Machado doesn't go on the IL if he's going to miss 4 games, whereas maybe a lesser player would, right? Because if whatever you can get of your top guys, you take.
So what's the plan with Donovan Solano moving forward? Are they just going to turn him into like a super utility guy or a bench piece? Like he'd be a great bat off the bench for sure, but I'm assuming his playing time is going to significantly drop here with Xander returning, right?
Yeah, I mean, Shildt was far more candid about that than I expected him to be the other day when he was talking about basically Solano, the odd man out. He did not use that, to be clear, but that's, what was basically said. And I was clear all along. I mean, Xander was working at second base. So if he was going to make some sort of move somewhere, he would have worked on it during the last 2 months. So Xander at second and Jake Cronenworth at first. Look, Luis Arraez today is taking grounders at second, man. That doesn't mean that he can't go back in and play first, but you are talking about Cronenworth being your first baseman. Xander's got to play second. You moved him there in spring training. That's where he's got to play. And this is like the proverbial good problem to have as long as Xander hits, right? Like you just made your bench better. When you do need a guy to have a day off, which I don't exactly know when that would be, being with the All-Star break and all the days off they have over the next month. But when you do, then, hey, Donovan Solano can play third and Manny can DH or whatever. But Solano just doesn't have a place to play, and that's a shame. But you know what else has been a shame? Their bench has been really lacking. So the bottom line is they need Xander to come back and basically justify his spot.
No doubt about it. Kevin Acee is our Padres insider. We hadn't necessarily thought about it while Xander was out, but we had someone call in maybe a week or so ago when we were, reading about Xander potentially returning for this week. And he said, well, Solano's played well. Why don't you just platoon Solano and Jay Cronenworth? Because Solano is hit left-handed pitching, and Jay Cronenworth has simply not really. I know he's been better against lefties than he was earlier, but he's hit something like 210 against left-handed pitching. Is that a possibility? He just starts against lefties?
I would not be surprised if Solano starts on Sunday and Jake sits.
Right.
Because Chris Sale. I would not be surprised at all.
Any update on Fernando here or no?
The update is that there really is no update. He's resting. That's what you do at this point. You've got to, it's what Xander did. It's what you got to do when you're talking about a bone that basically was on the spectrum of a fracture, a stress reaction, right? So then once he gets there, once that's, healed enough, the other thing is this is weight bearing. I mean, this is a middle of August kind of thing at the earliest, you would think. So the update is that there is no update.
Kevin, the adage has kind of been at times that the Padres, as Manny goes, the team goes, and they go 12-3. He was red hot. It's a very small sample size. These last 4 games he hasn't hit, and the team is 0-4. Are you surprised if, after the walk-off, whatever night that was, to open up this homestand
Friday
from Manny last Friday, a week ago, are you surprised the way these last 4 games have played out or not in watching this team all year?
Yeah, yes. But then I'm also hedging because it's baseball, and I really try to never say that phrase, but surprised that someone would, have 1 hit in 4 games or 0 in 3 games, I guess. No, but yes, the guy's been hot as heck, but maybe that was his hot streak, and now he'll have just a normal time or something. They better hope it's normal and not like it was earlier in the season. Because the bottom line is, because we're going to spend a lot of time talking about the trade possibilities and the trade deadline and all that. If Fernando doesn't come back and play well, if Xander doesn't play well, if Manny doesn't play well, it really doesn't matter. I mean, I give credit where it's due. They made it a better team this year, more depth. They added really good, guys that have, helped them overcome the fact that Xander was hurt, Todd's hurt, Xander wasn't playing well early, Manny wasn't playing well early. That's great. But the fact is, it still is about Manny Machado and then Fernando Tatis and to some extent, Xander Bogaerts.
We can talk about, trades, and we know what their needs are. It's pitching, obviously, starting pitching and relief help as well. But, with what they have right now, Kevin, until potentially those moves happen, it could happen at any moment. But until those moves happen, what is the plan with this rotation? Because it feels like you can't pitch Adam Major anymore going in the second half. What have you heard as far as their plans go for their rotation going in the second half of the season?
Yeah, they can go without Major. They can go with 4 guys fairly easily until Saturday in Baltimore, and I think that'll be the plan if there's not somebody added before that. Could it make a difference what Brito does? It hasn't gone well. I didn't check his last start, to be honest with you. There's not a whole lot of options there, but the good thing for them is you have the off day, or you have the All-Star break. You have an off day after the first series, so you can make up for that. But you do, as you get closer to the 30th, hopefully you're gonna add somebody. I mean, Yu Darvish isn't going to be back by then, so you've got some you've got an issue.
If they could use 4 starters,
shouldn't be pitching on this team.
I apologize. Kevin Acee is our Padres insider. Like you said, if you could use 4 starters between now and Saturday, they could have used 4 starters this past week as well, right? They've had multiple off days. They didn't need to throw out a Major. They could have had everyone on normal rest. What went into that decision? Just that it's a long year and guys like King and Waldron have never made 30 starts in the big leagues before?
Yeah, there's the thing. And especially Michael King, it's great. And he appears actually to be getting stronger, but that's not really anything that you can count on. So they would have had to alter once they altered it in Texas, the way they altered it, then you knew that Major was going to have to pitch again. And that's just the decision they made, that they felt like they could, they're hitting well enough, and all right, we can do this. Because for the long term, Michael King can't be going every 4 days. And even they were counting on him not having to go every 5 days at this, during this time, whatever it's from July 1st through August 5th. And those, whatever it is, 11 off days, counting the All-Star break. They were really hoping that could be like, last year, Seth Lugo got that calf strain. And yes, that was a legitimate injury, but did it need 15 days? Don't know. But he got that rest, and that helped him. And this was supposed to be, and they will still try to maximize that. This is supposed to be Michael King's rest time.
Trade deadline here in a couple weeks, Kevin. Is it definitive? Salas and DeVries, no chance those guys are going anywhere?
That is my understanding. Like the way that they talk about these guys, I mean, it's Tatis level. And so that is my understanding. I am curious with the job status of people, with the fact that, look, they have shown themselves to be a playoff caliber team, especially like, don't be holding this to like, it's in the 1990s or the 1980s, right? Like, 6 teams make it from the National League. So they have shown themselves to be a playoff caliber team, but that's not a guarantee with all the injuries they have. I think they're in a very precarious situation here. So yes, it is my understanding that is the case. I got to say though, not good for the Padres that the Dodgers need help, because the Dodgers have a lot of resources. It's not good for the Padres that there are 20 contenders is kind of the count right now, that like you're hard pressed to find 10 teams that are sellers right now. Now that will change, but the point is it's going to take a lot to get difference makers.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that. Like Jim said earlier, obviously they need pitching. I mean, that's inarguable. But like you said with Tatis, nobody really knows the timeline. If this is weeks on end, I mean, is that an area that they're going to have to look to upgrade? You don't replace Fernando Tatis Jr., obviously, even if you make a sizable addition at the deadline. But can they stomach not having the possibility of Tatis and not having a replacement in there in the second half of the year?
No, they can't. Here's pitching. And yeah, we could use another bat, but pitching. At some point, like I said, Manny Machado, Xander Bogaerts, and then Toddy has to come back and hit. Like, if that isn't going to happen, then what does it really matter? So, like, to a certain extent, like, you are banking on him being a tardy trade deadline acquisition, right? Like, and that's just like you're banking on Xander Bogaerts coming in here and being like a trade deadline acquisition. Plus, you know what else? You're also banking on Jurickson Profar continuing to hit, and then all these other things that have actually gone pretty well for all the things that haven't gone well. That's why I said I think this is just a precarious, and it probably will be. We'll probably be talking about the big series coming up when we're talking again at the end of August, right? And then we'll be in the middle of September. I just think that that's just the way this Padres season is destined to go down, even though it was tempting to think a week ago. A week ago, I think they were within a game and a half of the Braves, and, for the first wild card spot. And, that's just not who the Padres are this year.
As far as, the creativity that Preller potentially will have to have at this trade deadline, because like you said, I mean, it's not good news when the Dodgers have to have, or they don't have to, but they need starting pitching. I mean, look, AJ always tends to go big, but in this situation, should we expect like some names that we haven't even thought of that he might bring in here?
That's all I think about. Is like, you know what? All this stuff talking about it, and then AJ Preller probably has 6 ideas that no one else has thought of. And that probably includes that people in baseball haven't thought of. Like, that's just what he does, and especially this time of year. He'll be like a zombie by the by the trade deadline. He just will be, even AJ needs some sleep, and there just won't be any, and he'll be just bouncing ideas off his guys and bugging everybody. Yeah, the answer to your question is an emphatic yes, something that we haven't thought of. The problem is he's the one who thought of Trey Turner and Max Scherzer, and then the Dodgers had more to give, and so they got those guys. That's potentially a real problem. But I think that it is fair to say that, who you want if you're in the Padres situation? You want AJ Preller being the guy to try to figure it out, because he's at least going to give it a really, really good try.
Kevin, final one for me involves Luis Ariz, and this is kind of so Padres, so to speak. I mean, you've got this hit king, and I guess the question is he healthy? Because since June 1st, he's hit 253 with a 591 on-base plus slug. Now, obviously, he's not a slug guy, but still, he's only getting on base at a 276 clip since June 1st. I guess the question is why? Is he hurt?
I know it's just tough when he throws in the 2 for 4 and the 3 for 5, and also you don't get to compare. His exit velocity was really high, and now it's not. There's just not my thing this year, and it's been basically all year, is the guy doesn't walk compared to what he had a 390 on base percentage last year. My thing is that he's just unproductive in that way, and I don't know that that's injury. So I don't have an answer for you, but I love the question because I'm asking it myself. What now? I will say, and I think we talked about this before, I still am going back, and this is nowhere near his worst 20 or 30 game stretch in his career. But that doesn't mean that's I'm not giving an answer refuting what you're saying. But the fact is, even since the jamming of the thumb, he hasn't missed any time. His swing doesn't look different. He still has had plenty of he has had multi-hit games. I honestly don't have an answer, and I have not found one yet, though it's on my list almost daily of hey, what's going on? And it's difficult to ask about Luis Ariz, right? It's difficult to find too much fault because that he's fully capable tonight of getting 3 hits, just finding a spot. But my thing really is, take a look at it. The walk numbers are to me, it's the most unproductive 0 for 4 that you could possibly have most nights. When he doesn't get a hit, right? It's golly, did he help you in any way whatsoever? And usually the answer is no.
Walks are bad, Kevin. Walks are bad.
Not when you are also able to hit 300 and then get a few walks. Suddenly, you've got almost a 400 on base percentage.
Right, exactly. Final one for me, Kevin. Update on Wandy Peralta?
Yeah, out. Bringing up this Sean Reynolds guy they got. Was it Pitt? What was the trade last year? They got him. They got him from the Marlins last year. And so he's going to make his major league debut for the Padres at some point. So you have Logan Gillespie and Sean Reynolds in your bullpen here going into the All-Star break. These are fun times.
It'll be interesting. Again, the break is here after the weekend. And then, of course, the trade deadline is less than 3 weeks away. Kevin, always appreciate it. We'll do it again on the start of the quote-unquote second half when you guys are on the road to kick off a 9-game road trip when you're covering the Padres from the road. So thanks for doing it. We'll do it again next Friday.
Right on. Take care, guys.
Yeah, where do you start with kind of the issues? It's a fair point. Reynolds has pitched really well in the minor leagues. Could be a really good piece.
Yeah. Like a Jeremiah Estrada, maybe.
Yeah, maybe, or maybe not, because we'll find out. But it's a good point. Gillespie, Reynolds, Kolek, some of the struggles in the middle of your bullpen other than Estrada and Suarez, you got some concerns, and it's not just starting or relieving or right field. You got concerns.
You forget Yuki Matsui is technically a rookie.
Right.
Jeremiah Estrada has not had the most consistent success over his career in the big leagues. Robert Suarez, he's been amazing this year, but still you need more. You need a lot more. Luckily, John, the National League wildcard race is what it is. I mean, imagine if it was like the American League, and this would be a problem. You'd be like, Okay. Where do we even start? At least they have a fighting chance in the National League, but they're hanging on by a thread. And it's the timing of when Preller makes his move will be interesting because on one end you can say, well, we'll try to, get 2 more weeks out of this, or you could have the mindset of we got to do this thing now. We can't wait.
We can't wait the 2 weeks,
like he did with the Rise and like he did with Dylan Cease.
And even that has only put them in this spot, which is basically tied for the last wild card. To your point, American League, last wild card team today is 10 games over.
Yeah, it's over. I mean,
the Padres are 2 over. Yeah, I mean, you're done.
Feels like it.
You feel like a team like the Texas Rangers that won the World Series last year is 8 games out in the American League wild card. Like your season's over.
Feels like it, yeah.
Barring some 12-1 stretch to get you back into it. So it'll be fascinating. Yeah, on the one hand, they're in it. On the other hand, so is everyone else. On the one hand, it's AJ Preller. On the other hand, every team's buying. On the one hand, you've got a good system. On the other hand, you don't want to move your top prospects.
Yeah. They're in a spot that, AJ Preller, he's sitting there like itching himself to try to make a big move. And I'm sure there's been discussions about DeVries and Salas and not to a level of getting anywhere, but like, hey, what do you think? Like, should we? And I'm sure
are you even listening if someone's calling on them?
And I'm sure teams have probably asked a lot about DeVries and Salas. So it's a place where you gotta make sure you keep those guys in your organization, because look at what Jackson Merrill's doing for you, and if you feel a certain way about them, Kevin mentioned they feel like these guys have the Tatis level of prospect hype, but you can't afford to not make the postseason this year.
But
yeah,
you also can't afford to trade away a future Fernando Tatis Jr. either. Not that anyone knows if this is Fernando Tatis Jr., Ethan Salas, or Leo DeVries.
Because imagine if they traded away like Leo DeVries for like a part of a package for Garrett Crochet, and say they made the postseason this year, but lost in the first round in 2 straight games.
And then DeVries is like a 14-year major leaguer with like 9 All-Star appearances.
Exactly.
That's the reason you think long and hard on any trade.
Yep.
This time of year, Mark Ziegler's going to join us on the other side. He was at Aztec practice earlier this week. San Diego State in the news with Jaden Ledee playing in the Summer League, others as well. Miles Berg getting extra year of eligibility, by the way. He tweeted that out last night. We'll catch up with Mark Ziegler on the Aztecs heading into 24-25. He'll join us on the other side. Naughty Barrel, we're downtown 9th and Market until 6 p.m. Getting you ready for Padres and Braves. Stay with us. All right, on the other side, Mark Ziegler from the Union Tribune. He will join us as San Diego State gets ready for its upcoming season. His first impressions of the roster, plus his thoughts on Jaden Ledee in Summer League today. Next.
This update is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Padres back in action tonight for a 3-game series, starting with the Braves 6:40 first pitch. Padres haven't released a lineup yet, but Xander Bogaerts will be in it, playing second base, hitting behind Manny Machado. Wandy Peralta expected to go on the IL. And NBA news of the day, Jalen Brunson signed a 4-year contract extension with the Knicks for $156 million, $113 million less than what he was eligible to get next season if he waited. And this morning on the Dan Patrick Show, Torey Lovello, the manager of the National League All-Stars, announced that Paul Skenes will be the starter for the National League in Texas on Tuesday night. Progressive makes bundling easy and affordable. Get a multi-policy discount by combining your motorcycle, RV, boat, ATV, and more. All your protection in one place. Bundle and save at progressive.com. That's progressive.com.
It's the Braves at Petco, plus the end of the first half. The weekend gets underway at Naughty Barrel with the people. A full breakdown is coming up. Now here's Jon and Jim.
All right, Naughty Barrel happy hour underway. Padres Braves 2 hours out. We're here until 6 p.m. They've got food specials. They've got specialty shots. So get here. We're here until 6 p.m. It's always our pleasure to catch up with Mark Ziegler, who covers, of course, San Diego State basketball, among other things, for the Union Tribune. He wrote about San Diego State heading into 24-25. He was at practice earlier this week. Are the Aztecs essentially rebuilding, or are they reloading? So I do want to get into that, but I know, Mark, you watched Jaden Ledee earlier this afternoon in Summer League. We've been on the air a bit, but I saw the final line. He was plus 18. He didn't score in a Minnesota win in the Summer League in Vegas. What were your impressions of Jaden Ledee, and thanks for hopping on?
Yeah, he struggled a little bit. He took 2 shots. One was a left-handed jump hook that got rejected in like the 10th row by a Croatian guy who is a freak athlete. and the other one was a fallaway jumper that was a little bit short. But that said, I thought he was really, really effective. I mean, he was really active. He was running the floor. He got called for 4 fouls, but I mean, he could get away with a lot. He was really physical. He was a beast on the offensive boards, drew a couple 3 fouls like he typically does. He dove on the floor for a loose ball, got it through to a teammate, ended up in a layup. Another one, he tipped an offensive rebound to a teammate for an easy layup. He forced a couple turnovers. He had shot contests that started fast breaks. And the biggest thing is they just played really well with him on the floor. And he had his 2 little shifts. He had one at the beginning of the second quarter and one at the end of the third quarter, early fourth. They took him out, and they had like a 10-point lead. New Orleans came back, tied it. I think they even went ahead 2. They put him back in, and then they pulled away and won the game. And I think they realized his presence on the floor and the way he meshed and played with other players, the way he set ball screens, the way he just was so active and agile out there really helped them. And so I think he probably took a step forward, even though he didn't score a point. So that was a good first game for him.
Miles Bird tweeting out that he got another year of eligibility. How did that whole situation play out, Mark?
Well, I don't, it's one of those things where I think you might not get it officially until you're a senior, because the medical waivers I believe you apply for, maybe the rules change when you get to the end of your career. But you also, I think there's like a process to get approved. And it was something that was been in the works for since his freshman year. Because remember, he started playing, he got hurt. He had Achilles injury very early on in Maui in the practice. I remember it vividly. I thought it was a blown Achilles. It turned out it wasn't. And then he tried to come back, and he hurt a knee, he hurt a hip, and he got sick, and he just shut down the whole season. I mean, it just was one thing after another. And so I think that was something they were looking towards when he did shut it down, and it's good for him. Now no player wants to stay all their years in college. They all want to go pro sooner, but it's nice to have that extra year, particularly for a guy like him who was so young when he came to college, so skinny, still needs to gain some weight and some strength. It just gives him a little bit more of a runway to do that.
Mark Ziegler from the Union Tribune with us right now, Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. So you've watched this new iteration this summer over at the Jam as the Aztecs get ready for 24-25. I mean, so many new faces, as you and I know, and then you kind of theorize, is it rebuilding or is it reloading? Where do you land on that, almost 4 months in front of this season opener?
Well, I was thinking about that, and I mean, I'm not sure a San Diego State program of its stature ever rebuilds, but I think the answer to that question, the way fans will answer that question, is what's their record like heading into the conference with such a brutal non-conference schedule where, if they have some really young pieces and they don't really get up to speed, they're playing against grown men, there could be a little bit of a struggle early, and maybe they don't have the record that people are accustomed to seeing, and maybe they think it's a rebuild at that point. But I think by February, once these freshmen are no longer freshmen and the new pieces are playing together, I don't think people will look at it that way. I think they're really talented, and they're really long. They're really athletic. I think the ceiling is really, really high for this group. I'm not sure it's this year. Maybe it's next year, but it's really high. But the flip side of that is, the last 2 teams were so old and so veteran, and you knew what you had. I think the floor was really high. You knew that they were probably going to be NCAA tournament teams, even in a bad year or disappointing year. And this team, I think that floor is a lot lower just because they're so young. I mean, this could not be I could see this not being an NCAA tournament team if they don't gel and mesh and grow up really quickly. But I also could see this team, really giving teams all kinds of matchup nightmares because of the length and size and athleticism. So I think I've been saying this all summer. I think it's just going to be fascinating to watch just because I don't think anybody knows what's going to happen.
What's your expectations for Magoon Gwath this year? And what do you think the team's expectations are for him?
Well, he's going to make this very awkward transition from a guy who they weren't even sure was going to practice last year. And he comes into practice and he's on the scout team, and anything he does well is like, wow, this guy is so good. He has so much potential. And if he turned it over, but he's just out here practicing. And, he can take as many shots as you want. You have a a complete green light when you're on the scout team to, okay, you might be starting, and if you have 4 turnovers, that's way too many. And if you miss a bunch of shots or you miss a defensive rotation, there's going to be a lot more scrutiny, and that's going to be really up and down. But you hope people don't place too many expectations on him right now. I think this is a 2-year project. I think this year he gets minutes, and I think the following year is when he really takes off and you see what he can do. I think we'll see some flashes of that this year, but I don't know if we'll see the consistency.
Mark Ziegler with us from the Union Tribune. Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. So you saw him, Mark, I believe this week. I was there earlier this week as well. I was so impressed with some of the leadership and vocal qualities of guys like Nick Boyd and Wayne McKinney who have transferred in. I mean, specifically with Boyd, and this guy is so vocal. He just seems like a natural born leader, and we'll see how that translates in-game action on the floor for San Diego State. But did you see that same thing? I mean, for a guy to be here just a couple of weeks and take some ownership of a roster, it's been impressive to see. I think both Boyd and McKinney do that.
It's funny. I ran into him in a restaurant in Little Italy a few weeks ago and talked to him, and we had texted and talked to the phone before he came, but made his announcement. But I was blown away with shakes your hand, looks you in the eye, the way he carried himself, the way he talked. And I just, I don't want to bother you, just, nice to meet you. And then on his way out, he stopped at the table again, said hello again, and introduced himself to everybody. And I just said, this is a really mature guy who's got a special quality. And when I asked Brian Dutcher about it, he said, he goes, you watch film and you see what you got on the floor. But we do so much due diligence behind the scenes, talking to coaches, talking to people around him, talking to people who coached against him, and just to get a feel for what kind of guy he is. And we were looking for a point guard, but we were really looking for a leader. They were specifically looking for leaders. That's why they wanted Nick Boyd so badly, and that's why he was a priority very early on in the transfer market. And it was as much for what he could do on the court as what he could do in the locker room. And you've seen that instantly. He is the leader of the team. This is his team, already. And Wayne McKinney, same thing. Now, Wayne McKinney, a little bit different because he knows most of the players he's worked out with. He's the same workout group with Lamont Butler. He knows the Jam Center as well as anybody. He's played against them in summer league, pickup games. And so there's a familiarity there, and he's older and a respect that the team all see. But yeah, Nick Boyd definitely has come in and been vocal. And I think Miles Bird has stepped up a little bit too, as sort of the one last guy, one of the few guys remaining from that championship team.
Mark, I have an out of left field question for you. That's nothing to do with basketball. You're in Paris, right? You're going to Paris for the Olympics?
Yeah, maybe the week inside.
So my out of left field question is this: venues being announced for Los Angeles 28. I know you've covered a ton of Olympics in your career, so I feel like you have insight on this, and I'm not sure. I didn't ask you about this off the air. Is there a scenario where San Diego County, because of the nature of Olympic Games, has some event or events in it, even though the Olympics are technically in LA?
There was some initial talk originally about that, because you remember, or maybe don't remember, 1984 when the games were in Los Angeles, they held equestrian down here at Fairbanks Ranch, which is now a golf course. Which they played a couple days ago. They still have like a couple of the fences out there and a statue here or there to sort of commemorate and memorialize that. But right now, I don't think so. I think it's been a very much of a LA and LA County venue map. Not even going much into Orange County. They're going to go to Long Beach a little bit, but not into South Orange County. And I think they're just going to try to keep things focused and keep it pretty compact. So the answer, I think, is going to be no. Should it be? 100%. They should throw San Diego a bone. Throw them a triathlon or something. I thought it would have been cool to have triathlon. Here, the birth of triathlon is Fiesta Island, Mission Bay. Why not bring it back to its birthplace? I thought that would have been kind of cool. But, they have a lot of water and a lot of roads and areas that have it up there. And so I think they're just going to keep everything up there and keep it close.
Cool. I was just curious, again, with the games coming 4 years away to Southern California. Once again, Mark, safe travels to Paris. I'll bug you at some point. I know the time difference is going to be significant, but hopefully we can connect when you're in Europe at some point. But we're looking forward to your coverage of that as well. And thanks for hopping on.
Yeah, my pleasure. Talk to you guys.
All right, Mark Ziegler from the UT. How cool is that? I don't know. I should have asked how many games he's covered. He's covered a ton of Olympic games. I'm talking about like 8, 10, 12,
That's
summer or winter. Like
Yeah.
he's covered a ton of them over the last 20 or 30 years. All right, we're downtown, Naughty Barrel, 9th and Market. Happy hour is underway. We're here until 6. The Padres are playing the Braves. We will hear from Mike Shildt coming up. Plus, have the Padres put out a lineup as of yet for a game that starts in less than 2 hours? We'll tell you the answer to that coming up next on Jon and Jim. The Padres have officially made 4 roster moves. We'll share those with you on the other side next.
We're counting down to game time and the All-Star break. There's only one place to be with the Fanatics heading into the weekend. Naughty Barrel, 844 Market Street. A preview for the series with the Braves at Petco. Live from Naughty Barrel, it's Jon and Jim.
All right, here until 6 p.m. Happy hour underway. Padres and Braves in less than 2 hours. The Padres have not officially put a lineup out for tonight as of yet, but they did just announce, Jim, a series of moves, some of which we've speculated on. We've heard from Xander Bogaerts today. If you missed that, we'll play it again for you coming up at 5 p.m. He's off the IL. He's expected to start at second base tonight. They've optioned their third catcher, Brett Sullivan, to AAA. They've recalled a right-handed pitcher that we referenced earlier, Sean Reynolds, that was pitching very well in AAA, and they put Wandy Peralta on the IL. Remember, Peralta left the game earlier this week. He's going on left adductor strain, so he's going on 15-day IL. So Bogaerts is here. Right-handed reliever Sean Reynolds is here. Wandy Peralta is on the IL, and Brett Sullivan, the third catcher, is in AAA El Paso. Now we wait on the lineup that has not yet come out, less than 2 hours out from tonight's game.
Glad that Manny survived and he didn't get
Seriously,
optioned.
yeah, I know. Well, you always get nervous. Honestly, I get nervous when you're getting closer to a game time and you haven't seen a lineup. I'm like, oh, what's going on? But I think it has to do with the series of moves.
There's so many
more than
moves.
anything else.
Yeah, there's a lot of moves where you have to do all that. Everything's already set. It's probably just formalities.
I would think so. Yeah,
it's whatever. But I think the lineup that you're going to see is kind of what we refer to as part of the show, which is Arise, probably your DH, Profar, Carnworth at first, and then you got Manny, Bogaerts, Merrill, whoever, maybe Peralta and right, Timmy, Biggie down the plate because Waldron is pitching tonight. So I would suspect that is what we're going to see from a lineup. And we'll see how it goes. Because Xander, when he was in fifth last year, John, he was driving in nobody. I want to say by the end of August, maybe he had around 40-something RBIs.
Yeah, and probably by the end of the year, the numbers were deceiving because September was amazing.
He finished with under 60 runs batted in last year. He did hit 19 home runs, but he also was in the fifth for a majority of last season and didn't drive in anybody. He went, I think, over a month and a half without having an RBI.
Do you know what he hit last year?
Hit 280
with men in scoring position.
Oh, it was, I'm going to say under 200.
Ding. Do you know what he's hit this year with men in scoring?
Under 200.
Ding. 192 last year, 171 this year.
Oh,
for a guy
worse.
that hits fifth, you can't.
Nope.
I mean, you just can't.
Nope.
I mean, obviously for a game you can, but you can't hit fifth all year and hit 171 with men scoring position and ask to win games. Now, last year's team was anti-clutch. This year's team has had a clutch gene. So we'll see if that continues or not with Bogaerts back in the lineup. And again, what they need tonight is someone to step up to snap the skid. Like, that's what they need tonight. Because all of a sudden you don't win tonight, and here we go again. Same conversation we've had 3 times this year. What is wrong? Why are they in the midst of a 5-game losing streak? And are they on the brink right now with everything going on? So I don't care if it's Bogaerts, Machado, or Brett Sullivan. It won't be Brett Sullivan, it's in AAA. But I just need someone to lead this team offensively. Matt Waldron has done his part. He'll probably pitch well. But offensively, they haven't done near enough the last 4 days in 4 consecutive losses.
No, it's the offense that has disappeared. And it is, again, no surprise that the offense disappeared. And you look at Manny's numbers, and they are horrible in the last 4 games. He was on fire. He was 4 for 5 on that Friday night with a walk-off. And he went MIA. So, yeah, you're right. They need someone to step up tonight offensively to get the ball rolling because they have been in such a rut the last 4 games. Everybody has. They need that person to step up, whoever it is. You got a runner on second with less than 2 outs.
Right.
You got to get them in. Or even a runner on third, 2 outs. Someone get a big hit.
Yeah, it's like a 2023 question, by the way. The Padres haven't tweeted it, but our buddy Ben Fed, talking Flyers has it. Comes out over there. You nailed it. Arise, Profar, Bronny at first, Arise DH there. Machado at third, Bogey at second, Merrill at center, Peralta in right, Kimmy at short, Higgy at catcher.
Boom. That's exactly
But there
what
was
I said.
no question that Donovan Solano against right-handed pitching is going to be on the bench. And you see a lot more right-handed pitchers than you do left-handed pitchers. Donovan Solano is going to strengthen that bench in the second half of the year.
If we're really, John, like at the end of this month, saying, man, they need to get Donovan Solano more at bats, right? That's a problem for everybody. Nothing against Donovan
I don't know if
Solano,
we'll be saying that or not. Maybe.
but you know what my point is, like, it's not about Donovan Solano. Yes, he's a great complementary piece. He has been for this year. But we're sitting there saying, man, we need to get Donovan Solano. I mean, like, what about what's going on with Xander? What's going on with Manny? What's going on with Profar? What's going on with Jake? What's going on with Jackson? Like, are those guys not getting it done? So then we're crying for Donovan Solano to get more bats?
I think it's a very good point. We'll get to the wrap, which we did do in the 4 o'clock hour, coming up next. Plus, if you missed Xander Bogaerts with the media earlier today, we'll share that with you. Marty Caswell from inside the Padres clubhouse earlier today. So you'll hear from Xander, who's playing second base tonight in his return. He's back for the first time in 7 weeks, plus the wrap to kick off hour 3 for the Naughty Barrel. That's next on Jon and Jim.
This update's brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Padres, they're back in action tonight against the Braves for a 3-game series. 6:40 first pitch for game 1. Matt Waldron on the mound for the Padres. Padres have made a bunch of moves. The big one, Xander Bogaerts. He is back in tonight's lineup playing second base, hitting 5th behind Manny Machado. And NBA news of the day, Jalen Brunson signed a 4-year, $156 million contract extension with the Knicks, $113 million less than what he would be eligible to get next season if he just waited. Progressive makes bundling easy and affordable. Get a multi-policy discount by combining your motorcycle, RV, boat, ATV, and more. All your protection in one place. Bundle and save at progressive.com. That's progressive.com.
The Friar Fanatics are out with the Braves in town for the weekend at Petco as we head into the All-Star break. Getting ready for the game live at Naughty Barrel, leading you right up to the action. Plus, we're just 50 days from the kickoff of San Diego State football. Live from Naughty Barrel, it's Jon and Jim.
In Southern California, what's going on? Final hour of Jon and Jim. We're at the Naughty Barrel. You need to get here. We're here until 6. This is your spot this weekend. The Braves are in town. The Padres are as well. Beautiful weekend here in the summer. Get to the Naughty Barrel, 2 blocks from Petco Park, 9th and Market. Listen to what's going on right now. You need to join us over the next hour. They have amazing happy hour food and drink specials. In fact, Jim has just ordered the $7 Oklahoma Smash Burger, which he has vouched for before.
Delicious.
They've got the double Oklahoma for $12.
Yep.
Okay, Fridays only, they have the Oklahoma single Smash Burger with 3 ounces of smoked brisket.
Yeah.
You tried that before.
I have. That's also very delicious.
And that's also only $12. Then listen to these specialty shots. Jim has had all of them today. They have a lemon drop.
The lemon drop's good.
Okay, they have the Pickle Me Vodka.
Okay.
They have the green tea specialty shot. You had that.
Delicious.
They have the peanut butter cup specialty shot, which sounds amazing.
Sounds really good.
They have $7 house red and white wines. They have $7 well drinks. That's all going on right now until 6 p.m. Even if you don't have tickets to the game, watch the Padres tonight downtown here. Indoor, outdoor, blocks from Petco. Spectacular night. The Naughty Barrel. We're here all season long. Fridays when the Padres are at home, I'm drinking kombucha. You're eating burgers. We're at the Naughty Barrel.
I mean, think about this. You can get a burger and a beer for under $15.
That's right.
I mean,
yes, burger and a beer.
Literally cannot get better than that. We are blocks away from Petco Park. We'll be here for the next hour. Come on down. Bunch of beers. They got kombucha. Jon has a kombucha here.
Do. It's pink.
Yes, take a picture of it. There you go. There's not an umbrella in it.
No.
But there probably should be.
There should, yeah.
Yeah, it's okay. You know what? I support all fruity drinks. So if you consider this pink kombucha a fruity drink, I support you, Jon.
No, I don't consider this fruity at all.
Yeah,
this bright pink drink,
right.
Absolutely not. What are you talking about?
Yeah, not fruity at all. But
right.
Yeah, make your way down to Naughty Barrel. We'll be here till 6 p.m. Happy hour is going on for the next hour. As we just read, amazing happy hour deals. Drinks and food, so get on down to Naughty Barrel.
To your point real quick, and we'll get to the wrap, and then we'll hear from Mike Shildt, by the way, and we'll hear from Xander Bogaerts as well this hour. Where $14 for wine, a glass of wine and a burger, when you can get a glass of wine in the city for $19 or a burger for like $23.
If I said spend $14 in Petco Park, nothing against Petco Park, but it's
right.
just how
it's
it
just
is.
Any like sporting
event.
Yeah.
Hey, $14. What can you get?
Not a glass of wine and not a burger.
You can't get a great burger or a glass of wine or a beer.
Yeah. So get here because for $14, you're getting a glass of wine, you're getting a spectacular burger, and you're doing it here 2 blocks from Petco Park. We'll hear from Mike Shildt coming up in a handful of minutes. Right now, let's get to this.
It's time for The Wrap, presented by Sombrero Mexican Food. Check out their website at sombreromex.com.
Yeah, Jim.
Well, I watched every second of it, Jon.
Yeah. Did you see his line? Here, I'll tell you his line. Seriously. Okay, 0 for 2 from the floor.
Yeah.
Didn't score in 13 minutes off the bench, but this is from Mark Ziegler. Plus 18 in 13 minutes. Rebounds and blocks, offensive rebounds, contested shots, forced turnovers. So plus 18 didn't score. I mean, I'm surprised he didn't score because Jalen D. He impacts every game, but it sounds like he impacted the game with a plus 18.
I think that the way he plays, he's going to have to figure out how to adapt maybe a little better to the NBA game. I think his game could work in the NBA.
Right.
Mid-range guy. He can muscle down low. He's not the most athletic above-the-rim guy like a Keyshawn Johnson, who had an amazing debut with the Miami Heat the other day.
Yeah, he did.
So I do think that he's going to have to work on adapting his game. But I think once he does, he can hit a mid-range jumper for you. He can go down low and bang, and as Charles Barkley says, he can bang with them.
Sure.
He can bang all night. And he can be a guy off the bench that can give you energy, get you a rebound. But the thing I think that NBA teams look at that might hurt him is he is not an above-the-rim guy. He is not the most athletic guy. He can run it up the court all day long and never get tired because he's so in shape. But I do think that his game, he might have to adapt a little more.
Yeah, here's my thought. I think he's going to have a good summer league, and I think he's got to let the scoring just come to him, and everything's going to be fine because he's like a natural-born scorer. I just hope that there is an opportunity. I just hope he finds that lane, whether it's with Minnesota or elsewhere. I feel like given the opportunity, he can take advantage of it. One summer league game does not make or break your professional career, but I do think it was good news that he was plus 18 and he was playing late in the game as well for the T-Wolves in a close win in Vegas. Next question. Yeah, Jim.
Oh, let me answer that for you. I have no clue.
You're a sports talk host.
Oh, I'm sorry. We'll get on David J of Mad Friars.
You haven't done a mock?
Or John Conniff of Mad Friars and see what they think.
You haven't done a mock?
Have you?
Of course I have. Here's my mock 3.0.
This is my.
What do you mean? Yeah.
Pitching.
Quarterback.
Running back.
Okay, here we go. ESPN.com's mock 3.0 from Kylie McDaniel.
Seriously.
Okay, this is Sunday's draft.
I trust Kylie.
Okay. Now, the Padres are picking 25th because of the CBT penalties. They should be picking 15th.
Sorry, thinking of Jackson
Look at this.
27th?
This is, honestly, they're going with the guy with the most simple name ever. No joke. Look at this name. I can't.
Just spell it. Just spell it.
Jurrangelo Ciginci. Jurrangelo. First name. And then last name Cijntje. Right-handed pitcher, left-handed pitcher, Mississippi State. He throws with both arms.
No way.
So the ambidextrous pitcher for Mississippi State, 25th overall, who says no?
Well, I'll tell you this. I can guarantee one thing. Whoever they draft, we will have on either David J. or John Conniff from Mad Friars to tell us all you need to know, because I guarantee you we will not know one single
Well, let me just ask you this. Do you take Kalen Culpepper if he's there?
You got to really think about that.
Vance Honeycutt? No.
Nah, that's too high.
But Kellen Lindsey.
Kellen
I think
Lindsey
you take
could be a
Lindsey
steal to
there.
draft.
I agree with you. All right, next question. Seaver King? Oh, my gosh.
Ooh, bring a Seaver.
Loaded first round.
Yeah. No, I don't think so. Let's be real here. What the Pirates are doing, kind of fake. I don't expect the Pirates to be competing for a wild card spot truly. They're playing pretty decent baseball for their standards, but they're not, I don't think, having aspirations of going to the postseason. If it happens, it's a complete luck thing. And
right, are they going to go for it in 2 weeks and completely wholesale change their roster?
No, they're in a rebuild and they're building from their minor league systems. And
Paul
Paul Skenes,
team.
Yeah, they're a 500 team, and Paul Skenes is the main guy, and now I would say probably the face of the Pirates organization. No, they didn't make. No problem with it whatsoever.
I would do it 100 out of 100 times.
Yeah.
What is a no-hitter worth in today's baseball? It doesn't even lead SportsCenter. Bronny leads SportsCenter today.
Yeah.
Maybe not if it was Skenes.
Maybe you're
but
right.
If it was Waldron type pitcher, if it was Randy Vasquez,
it's given
through
3 minutes on SportsCenter tops.
If that. So it's just a different world. You see combined no-hitters now. I want the health of a player over some accolade. That's what I want. I want the health of a player over an accolade. 99 pitches for a rookie pitcher that was in college baseball last year at LSU is reasonable and fair. They want to pitch him in September. So, no, I have no problems with it at all. Oh, wow, Smashburger is here, but let's get to the next question. Look at this thing. Wow.
Well, I don't think it's any different than what the Nationals did with Steven Strasburg. You remember how they babied
Yes.
him when they brought
Well,
him
they
into
shut
the
him
league?
down, didn't they, in the postseason?
They shut him down in the regular season a few times, and if he would just get like a little blister, they'd shut him down over anything because they were not taking any chances. Speaking of Skenes, should Paul Skenes should have been named the starter for the NL All-Star game?
Yes, I think he should have. I don't have any problem with that either. I think it's the best for the game. I know last year, John, you were advocating for Ellie De La Cruz to make the All-Star team because of his talent, and it wasn't like he played a bunch. But you said,
did he make it?
No, not last year.
I'm still mad about that.
I know, but like to your point, you want baseball to show off their stars and promote their stars
and their young players.
Yes, and Paul Skenes, he has everything. He is a young star. He was the #1 overall draft pick, and he's really effing good. He is arguably, if you just look at his stuff and what he has done since he has been at the big league level,
it's been crazy good.
I don't have all the numbers in front of me, but he's probably like top 2 in pitchers as far as numbers goes, and he might not even be 2.
Dude, who's got a 3.1 WAR in 66 innings? You multiply it over times it by 3 is a 200-inning season. That's a 9.3 WAR pitcher.
That's a Cy Young season.
Exactly. He's got a 1.9 and a 3.1 WAR. In 66 to third innings, a starter, he struck at 89. That's a crazy, crazy number. So Paul Skenes should be the National League starter.
Yes.
Come next week in the All-Star game, and he is. So I credit Torey Lovello, Major League Baseball, whomever, for that decision. Now, let's not bury any leads. We'll hear from Mike Shildt. The Oklahoma Smashburger at Naughty Barrel has arrived.
It has, yes.
Which means it will be good timing to hear from Mike Shildt. But can you describe what you're about to put into your mouth, Jim?
Pause. So we got a smash burger here with perfectly melted American cheese.
You can't see it on the camera, by the way.
Oh, it's right here. Hold on.
Yeah, and if you're listening on the radio, you might not be able to see it either.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Yeah.
So
it's great for radio.
Yeah.
Well, he was like holding it up, and then like you couldn't see it.
And then we got grilled onions, which is Brent's favorite.
Mm-hmm.
We also have, I believe, Thousand Island aioli sauce on it. A little spicy, little kick to that. The burger is smashed. The bun is smashed.
But it's got pickles too.
I took the pickles off.
I know, but I love pickles.
And
I
I will
like
be
pickles.
devouring that once we hear from Mike Shildt here.
All right, so Mike Shildt, I don't know where this starts, but Mike Shildt has spoken to the media as the Padres get ready for the Braves. I'm sure they discussed Xander Bogaerts returning from the injured list. Here's Mike Shildt.
Lined up yet, so can you confirm that Xander is returning, and if so, where will we be seeing him today?
Yeah, Bogey's back. You know, it's good to have him back. He had a couple good days at Lake E. He's had a really positive rehab. He's feeling good. He's back playing second base and hitting behind Mandy tonight.
I know that you joked about it the other day, managing an infield when you have so many of them. You wish that there were 5 positions. What is your plan for managing the infield moving forward?
I think it'll be fairly fluid. I mean, Crony's back at first today, Luis will DH today, and it maybe look a little different tomorrow. And then we'll just take it as it comes, once we're after the All-Star break.
Wandy, how is he today?
Wandy's looking like he's going to go on the IL. It's a little more severe than initial thought. It's going to require some time and some time away to heal and some rest. So I don't know if I'm allowed to break any news. No, I'm not allowed.
Sure, over Twitter.
It's over Twitter. Well, then you don't need me to. Well, then enough said.
Tell us about it.
You guys got it all figured out.
How's he been pitching?
Well, his ball's coming out good. He's got a big arm. He's going to make his big league debut at some point for us, and had a nice spring, and he's throwing the ball really well. And he's the guy that was recommended in El Paso. Really? All right.
Why Waldron today? It looked like there was an adjustment in rotation.
We just moved guys around a little bit. Vasquez just pushed him back to Sunday. Nothing too crazy. I mean, the same 3 guys, just a little different order.
Does him at the beginning of the series kind of like mask how you guys might attack a lineup, because he doesn't pitch like anybody else?
There's merit to that. Yeah, I mean, he definitely provides a different look initially in the series, and can mask a little bit about how we're going to attack.
With Matt making his final start before the All-Star break, how would you sort of summarize what he's done this first half, the progression he continues to make?
Yeah, the progression's been impressive. You know, him and Hickey have really partnered together with Ruben. I've enjoyed watching it. You know, my player development background has a real appreciation for how Matt and several of our players have been developed at this level. But, you know, specific to Matt, you're talking about a guy that is trying to figure out, like, A, how to be a starter in the big leagues. B, I've got a knuckleball. C, how much to use it. D, how hard to throw it. You know, I've also got a good fastball that I can command with a sweeper. How much to sprinkle that in. And the group has really done a good job of being able to narrow the focus down to create clarity on all those things.
I'm not sure if he was joking, but Xander said in pregame that maybe the team doesn't need him because he played so well. But what does a return of a guy like that? How does that change your
I mean, what a humble guy, and but we need him. You know, he's here and a big part of what we do, and it's good to have a guy with, you know, World Series championship experience back with the club. I mean, that experience isn't just anywhere, and he's, you know, he's obviously a clearly good player. So his experience coupled with his talent, it's a great addition back to the club.
Romero, what's been like the most impressive thing about him that made him most from your perspective?
Being able to just continue to not make the game more complex than it is, which is a really hard thing to do. Let his talent play, use the experience of others around him, and just, you know, see the game, play the game. It's been impressive.
My takeaway there for Mike Shildt, who spoke with the media just a handful of moments ago, is that he's saying what we're saying about Bogaerts, which is like he's a big part of the team. He said we're going to need him.
Yeah.
So that's where they are with Xander Bogaerts. You're 2 of 11, yeah, and he's 40, and he's 19. Okay, and you figure it out. Then you're gonna no issue there. You do, but it's not your 10. It's year 2, and you hope he can be the player he was in Boston at some point. Hopefully this year, in 2024, you have to rely heavily on him. You can't lean away from him. You need to lean into him now that he's back.
Yeah, as much as I think a lot of people might want the team just to roll with Donovan Solano because he's been playing better.
Working, yeah.
Which is working. That was never going to happen. And they do need Xander. They need him bad because this season was predicated on the stars were coming, and he's one of their big three, regardless of how good he is or not. Paid him a lot of money, and he's got to produce. And he's healthy. He's got to play him. Unless Thomas Solano was like 370 or like something crazy, then I do think there might have been something where, okay, we'll probably have to maybe let's do it. I don't know. Like,
yeah, maybe.
But Thomas Solano's not hitting 370. He's hitting 270 or 280 or whatever. That's good. It's good, but it's not good enough to say, hey, we'll move Xander somewhere else because Donovan Solano has to be in the lineup.
No, I completely agree. And here's the thing with where they are today. I promise you this. One game is going to change our feelings at the All-Star break. Here's what I mean. 2-1 here. Everyone's on board. You're at the All-Star break 3 over. It's better than kissing your sister. You know what I mean? Like 3 over when they were 3 under. Okay. But you lose 2 out of 3 here, and you're 1 over. So as stupid as that sounds, one game is going to make the difference about how you feel heading into the All-Star break. Padres fan. Winning the series or losing the series is the taste you're going to have heading into the break.
Yep. And
simple as that. One game.
And just remember, like, win 2 out of 3, you sit on that for a week, you feel good.
Yeah, you gain the game. Atlanta, you can 4 games behind them.
Lose 2 or 3. On that same thing.
Week and go to wherever they're going. Cleveland, Baltimore.
Cleveland, who
is national fall off.
Yeah, they're but that will also be an interesting series for many reasons.
It will.
Cleveland, one of the best teams in the American League. Oh, by the way, Baltimore, the best team. Okay. Sit on that for a week. lose 2 or 3, and you go on your probably toughest road trip of the second half. Agree with that?
Yeah. Oh, no, it absolutely is. 9 games and 2 of the best teams in baseball, and that's as hard as it's going to get. They don't have a 9-gamer after that. And they don't play. It's not like they play the Dodgers 10 times. It's not like that. They don't play the Phillies 6 times. It's
No.
reasonable after the 9 games. It's reasonable after the 9 games. Well, yeah, it is. The Colorados, the Miamis, it's not crazy. Well, the Dodgers.
Yeah, Dodgers. Once, like I've been saying, dude, once you hit August 2nd, August 1st, you got the Rockies, Pirates, Marlins, Pirates, Rockies. Those are your next 15 games. You go 8-7 in the 15-game stretch. You're not good enough, and you're going to be doing it to yourself. You have no one to blame but yourself. Because, like, after that, John, I don't want to go through every single
every game. Who do you start in game 1 in San Francisco August 29th?
I'm just saying there's no pocket left in their season other than the 3 games with the White Sox to finish up their year at home. Right? 25 games. Okay, fine. You want to say Tigers? Sure. But Tigers, White Sox, that's it. St. Louis, you're going to be fighting for a playoff spot against. Tigers are actually
4 games under 5.
Never mind. So, White Sox, that's it.
Yeah.
White Sox. Minnesota's good. The Mets are good now. So the Cardinals are going to be fighting. Tampa Bay, 500, but they're from Tampa Bay.
So you're saying beat up on the Rockies and the Marlins because you don't get the Rockies and Marlins other than that stretch.
And you finished the year on the road with 6 games because the Dodgers and the Diamondbacks, who you will also be competing against for a wild card spot. Could you imagine this thing coming down the final weekend in Arizona, John? Because I could.
By the way, the Marlins are 29 games under. The Rockies are 28 under. Remember, the Rockies swept the Padres here earlier this year. All right, so Jim has eaten, I'd say, 2/3 of an Oklahoma smash burger here at Naughty Barrel.
Talking, John.
No, there was no. We had 4 minutes from Mike Shildt.
Oh, sorry. I got to eat my burger in 4 minutes.
You had 4 minutes.
You know I'm a slow
ate
eater.
Like half. I know. What's your impression so far of the Oklahoma smash burger?
Oh, amazing. Come and get it. $7. Well worth it. I love it.
Okay, so we're at 9th to Market.
Yeah.
2 blocks from Petco.
Yep.
It's 70 degrees out.
Perfect.
The Padres are playing tonight and tomorrow and Sunday. Get your Oklahoma smash burger. They've got the happy hour until 6 p.m. They have specialty shots going on right now for $7. They've got red and white wines, house red and white wines for $7.
Well drinks.
They have well drinks for $7.
You can't beat that. Under $15, you can get a burger and some alcohol. Like, you can't beat that.
You can't beat that. So get here, Naughty Barrel. On the other side, if you missed it earlier, Marty Caswell in the clubhouse, Xander Bogaerts speaking. He's returning, folks, for the first time since May 20th. Ironically, the last time we saw him as a Padre was against the Atlanta Braves. He will return against the Braves here tonight. So we'll hear from Xander on the other side. We have Jim's back page coming up as well. We're with you until 6 p.m. downtown at the Naughty Barrel, 9th and Market. Padres Braves coming up in just over an hour. This is Jon and Jim. All right, so if you're a veteran, listen up. Did you know that you can access up to 100% of your home's equity right now? Hey, guys, it's Schaefer. You can do it with Loan Pronto's VA Equity Advantage program, and you can get $30,000 or $50,000, $100K or more, and use that money to pay off all those credit cards and personal loans and car loans, or maybe use that cash to do that home improvement project. Veterans love working with Loan Pronto because they make it easy. No junk fees, no hassle. They can unlock that cash in your home's equity in a matter of weeks. Don't keep paying insane rates on credit cards. There's a smarter alternative with Loan Pronto. Get more info and start the process now at loanpronto.com. Or if your current VA loan rate is over 6.5%, Loan Pronto can get you in a streamlined refinance with a lower rate right now with no income verification and no appraisal. Lower your monthly payment big time. Loan Pronto makes it so easy for veterans. Call now. 619-207-4336, 619-207-4336, 619-207-4336. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLS consumeraccess.org.
All right, this update's brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Padres, they're back in action tonight at Petco Park. 6:40 first pitch as they start a 3-game series with the Atlanta Braves. Matt Waldron on the mound for the Padres. Xander Bogaerts is playing second base, hitting fifth for the Padres. And moving over to other news with Major League Baseball, Paul Skenes was announced today as the National League starter in next week's All-Star game in Texas. Progressive makes bundling easy and affordable. Get a multi-policy discount by combining your motorcycle, RV, boat, ATV, and more. All your protection in one place. Bundle and save at progressive.com. That's progressive.com.
The weekend begins at Naughty Barrel with a look at the series with the Braves, plus a look back at the first half. Is A.J. Preller looking to make a move before the deadline? All that and more. Now back to Naughty Barrel with Jon and Jim.
All right, great crowd here at Naughty Barrel. It's filling up. Great place to watch games this weekend. Padres home against the Braves. Happy hour going on right now for the next 30 minutes with the $7 Oklahoma Smash Burger, which Jim has smashed. He has eaten the entire thing.
So
I've never
good.
seen Jim eat anything in its entirety, so it must have been amazing.
What?
They have their $7 specialty shots. They have their $7 wines. They have $7 well drinks. So get here. We're here until 6 p.m. We're going to hear from Xander Bogaerts coming up in a moment. We mentioned earlier Jaden Ledee's Summer League debut. Today is officially Bronny's Summer League debut. He played in the California Classic. That is not the Vegas Summer League.
Yeah.
Against the Rockets. This game is in progress in the second quarter. Bronny in 11 minutes has 6 points on 2 of 5 shooting and 4 rebounds now, Jim. And he's -1 overall. So 6 points, 4 rebounds, 11 minutes, 2 of 5 shooting. Has a turnover to go along with it. Bronny James in Vegas.
Where do you think
this ranks among the great moments
in
Lakers history?
Is this like
Just bigger than the play-in tournament win?
Is this like a top 5 moment for the Lakers franchise
No,
history?
they've had a lot of success. It's probably more like top 10.
We were talking off break. Like, I mean, all jokes aside, like
This is the best debut by a guy named Bronny ever.
Probably.
all jokes aside, you know he's going to be in the league for a decade,
Forever, yeah.
Like
Because
he just
LeBron
is.
James' son.
And while he'll never be LeBron James, while he'll never be probably an all-star or one of the best players in the league or an MVP or a guy that's, you know, constantly starting, giving you 20-plus points a game. I mean, look, he could give you something, you know, and I just because of his name alone, he's going to be in the league for a long time. And it's not like he's going to try to go out there and embarrass himself. He's going to work his ass off and try to be the best he can be. And if the best he can be is coming off the bench for maybe 12 minutes a night, you know, averaging 4, 5, 6 points a game, like, so be it.
But that may be, I'm with you. In the future, who knows what his future is? It could be good. But what I'm most fascinated by is year one.
How do
you utilize him?
Because he has a
He's
guaranteed
got the
contract,
guaranteed
yeah.
deal. He's going to be here. LeBron's, you know, on the Lakers. So he's going to be here on the roster all year. What are they going to realistically do with him? That, to me, is going to be interesting. Because, like, in Summer League, do whatever you want. You can play 30 minutes. You can play 25 minutes. And you're playing first- and second-year players out of college. In the NBA, everything changes. And it's a business of winning, as we always talk about. And it's not like the Lakers are some dominant team. They're not some, like, 61-21 team. Like, they could probably use that 7th or 8th piece, those bench pieces, to be productive. Is that going to be him as a 19-year-old?
I thought it was so funny how maybe Dave McMenamin, I forget who it was, who is like a complete shill for Clutch and LeBron, was interviewing Bronny after his press conference a couple weeks ago and asked him the question about how he feels that he's, you know, how does it feel knowing that you're going to be playing with Anthony Davis and possibly like throwing him lobs?
Right.
I'm like, bro, Bronny's not going to be playing any meaningful minutes with Anthony freaking Davis.
You wouldn't think.
No, it's not happening.
All right. Well, we'll keep an update on Bronny in his official Summer League debut. Now, Xander Bogaerts has spoke with the media. This was earlier this afternoon. Marty Caswell was in the clubhouse. Here is some of that conversation. Xander Bogaerts has been activated by the Padres.
I mean, I felt good. You know, what do you want me to say? It's like, are we going to waste 3 days of me just feeling good, you know, just hanging around and Lake Elsinore? So I feel good, man. I feel good, and let's see how we go. If I didn't feel good, we'd probably have to stay back.
You expect to be at second base most days coming back, or do you think they'll ease you in with some DHs?
Yeah, that I don't know. Yeah, I don't know that one. I don't know.
Do you feel like you'd be ready to play second base most days right now?
Most days, yeah. You know, maybe to start, maybe not all the days, you know, but in the end, I think most days, yeah. I mean, I've been playing in the field my whole career, so I mean, I think it's pretty normal for me to be able to play in the field. But maybe in the beginning, you never know.
What do you make of where this team is right now? What kind of impact you can make coming back to Memphis right now?
Listen, a couple of days ago, we were in a great spot, and maybe we're not in a great spot. We're still in a good spot, Can't control what happened in the past few games. Obviously we played a pretty tough team, some good pitching with the Mariners. Turn the page quick on that, and we have a good team in front of us. I think they have the first wild card spot, right, these guys? So it's going to be pretty much playoff atmosphere, in July. So we're trying to play catch up with these guys. Obviously, I've been seeing from afar. We have a really good team. We've been playing really good. Besides the last couple of games, that's baseball. And hopefully we can end the All-Star break on a high note. These guys, they're a pretty good team, but so are we.
Does that factor into the equation that let's not waste 3 days like elsewhere when you can help the team aging out?
I mean, I think it's pretty fair to say they could probably do it without me, but I still know what I am as a player, know who I am, and I know what I can contribute, and obviously I know how much I can help out. And as I say, if I felt bad, I probably wouldn't do it, but feeling good, I mean, boys ready to roll,
Did you play a full game in the field?
Nah, 7? Nah, it doesn't. Because you're not factoring the adrenaline, You're not. So, especially with our team, the way we play towards the ending of the games, you guys see it on a daily basis, 7, 8, 9 inning. I mean, we always in the fight, so you got to factor all of those things in it, and I think the body will respond good to that.
What do you thought of the way the team has played as a whole with all the different injuries they've gone through? Not just yours, Fernando at certain points, Manny Machado, it's been on the pitching side as well.
I'd say really well, to be honest. As I said, we could be better. We played some tough teams, and we had some tough losses. We also had some really good wins. A lot of comeback wins. And I think the biggest thing with us as a team is that we don't really feel like we're out of the game. It doesn't matter if it's the 7th, the 8th, or the 9th. I mean, we feel like we're going to come back, either like the last game, if that ball from Peralta falls in, I mean, the game's probably tied, So we're always in it. We have a really good, resilient group. That's a very great attribute to the championship caliber team. So, I mean, that's a pretty good one to start with.
Is that for you the biggest difference of this team than what you guys were last year?
Yeah. And I mean, I wouldn't say last year, like, once it's 7, 8, 9, and we're losing, we're going to give up. No, sometimes you hit the ball, it falls in the hole, and sometimes you hit it and it doesn't. So, I mean, it's just the same thing with that. It's just baseball, and last year we had a really good team, but obviously some of the stuff didn't fall the way we wanted to. And it wasn't about work ethic or any of that. I mean, we practiced real hard. We focused. As I said, just sometimes it falls right where it needs to go. And this year has been happening a lot more.
All eyes on Xander Bogaerts tonight, back in the lineup for the Padres, hitting 5th. First action since May 20th after a fracture of his shoulder. At the time, I didn't think we'd see him before the All-Star break. It's been 7 weeks since a shoulder fracture, and he's back out there tonight.
And it makes sense. Like, if he is feeling good, just go and play. Why sit there for the next week doing nothing? Like, go out and play, see if you can help this team. They're going to need him. They need him to play well. If you're feeling good, why go down and waste that in the minors when you could come up here and help in the big leagues?
Yeah, I mean, again, he's not a spring chicken. He's had 6 rehab games. I think he's turning 32 in a couple of months.
Wow.
He didn't play a full game in the minors. That's to be expected on rehab. Played 7 innings in the field. He's not going to play second base every day, obviously. Maybe it's every other day to start, but right back in there against Atlanta. I bet we see him all 3 days. Why else would they activate him? Yeah. I'm sure he'll either DH or play second base here for the Padres. He had a negative WAR before the injury, negative .1 WAR before the injury.
Yeah, he was awful. But you're facing the guy tonight with a 5+ ERA. Righty for the Braves, who I can't even pronounce his last name. And, I know they looked awful on Wednesday. But maybe the off day helped, and I would be surprised tonight if they don't show up offensively. I really would.
I agree with that.
I really would.
Yeah, I think I'd be surprised if they don't show up this weekend.
Me too.
Considering when they've had these skids, they have rebounded. Now, they've had 5 gamers. This is 4, so it's not like we haven't seen this.
Yeah.
It's not unprecedented if
Right.
they lose tonight. It's 5 in a row,
Right.
but they have played well after playing poorly.
Yep.
3 other times this
Yeah,
year. Can
yeah.
they make it a 4th straight when they play tonight and this weekend against Atlanta?
You hope so.
We shall see. They did beat the Braves in a 4-game series in Atlanta back in May, 3 games out of 4. All right, we are at the Naughty Barrel. They've got happy hour going on right now. The place is filling up beautifully. They've got the Padres on TV, of course, here tonight in 1 hour. Padres and Braves happy hour specials going on right now. The Oklahoma Smash Burger Jim had, it's only $7. They have $7 specialty shots right now, $7 wine, house wine, and $7 well drinks as well. No pun really intended. Beautiful night for baseball here in downtown San Diego. We'll take another timeout. Jim's back page is coming your way next. Get to the Naughty Barrel. We're at 9th and Market, 2 blocks from Petco Park, and it's Jon and Jim. Petco Park, Jim's back page is coming your way next.
The weekend begins at Naughty Barrel with a look at the series with the Braves, plus a look back at the first half. Is A.J. Preller looking to make a move before the deadline? All that and more. Now back to Naughty Barrel with Jon and Jim.
All right, back here, final time, Naughty Barrel happy hour going on. 9th and Market Get here this weekend. Great place to kick off your weekend and watch Padres baseball. Great to meet a couple of people out here this afternoon, including Chris, who just swung by and said hello. He watches and listens. We had someone congratulate you on your upcoming honeymoon and on your wedding this summer as well. So, oh, look at this.
Oh, hey.
We got Chris. We got his son. What's going on, man? How you doing? Nice to meet you. We're gonna talk to you.
Yeah,
all right,
nice to meet you,
we're
man.
gonna talk to you. Stick around for 5 minutes because we'll be off the air in about 5 or 10 minutes. We'll go. Okay.
Go eat.
All
Well,
right.
yeah, we'll come say hi.
Good stuff. Thanks for swinging. Yeah, come
All
back. Come back. Nice
All
to
right,
meet
cool.
you, man.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you. Okay, so yeah, we're here until 6 p.m. Padres are playing in less than 1 hour, and right now, let's get to this.
Astronauts are stuck in space after thruster issues, John.
What?
Astronauts Barry Butch Wilmore and Suni Williams will remain in space at least until the end of July or early August, NASA said yesterday night. Engineers are troubleshooting thruster problems and helium leaks on the Boeing Starline spacecraft.
How would you feel if that was you then? Like, it's fine.
I would freak out.
Just have some things we need to fix.
I saw this after the show yesterday, and I'm pretty sure I had a bad dream about it last night. I'll have a bad dream and I'll wake up and I'll immediately remember it, but then over the course of the day I'll forget it.
Right.
This is something that.
How about this lead?
Yeah.
How about this in the Washington Post? NASA astronauts are confident Boeing Starliner will get them home. Oh, that's great.
Oh, awesome.
Great.
Cool.
Why would they have helium on there?
I don't know.
Are they making like party balloons? You think if you won't want to grab the wrong tank if you're reaching for oxygen and then do helium? It'd be like that Spaceballs gag.
If I was
I don't know.
If I was a space engineer, then I guess I would know, but I don't know. They said that this right here is something that the mission left on June 14th. Or sorry, my bad. The mission was supposed to last only 8 days. There we go. They were scheduled to return to Earth on June 14th.
June 14th?
Yeah.
And they're going to stay there until August?
Yeah.
No, you got to order some parts before that. Like, how about overnight those things?
I need Amazon. Can Amazon deliver?
No, we're not waiting until August.
The spacecraft that I'm stuck in.
What are they doing?
Okay, I have an answer.
What is it?
They use helium to keep hot gases and ultra cold liquid fuels separated during liftoffs.
Okay, makes sense. I trust them.
Yeah, I thought it was only for balloons.
Did you know, John? It is National French Fry Day.
No, but I know you bought some earlier.
I did. Here are some deals you could get at restaurants, fast food restaurants for French Fry Day. McDonald's customers can get a free medium-sized McDonald's fry with any $1 purchase made via the app. Jack in the Box customers can get free fries today for the rest of the year. This is the promotion they had that I think I had on the back page. The offer is valid for new and existing Jack Pack Rewards members who make a minimum $1 purchase via the Jack in the Box app. Burger King, like Jack in the Box members of the chain's royalty perk program, can get a free order of any size fry with a $1 purchase. Taco Bell. They have
fries.
They literally do.
Yeah.
They announced
I've never
today
had them
that
before.
the chain's Nacho Fry Pass, an exclusive to rewards members, is back until July 15th, which is 3 days from now. It's July, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The pass, which costs $10, allows pass holders to redeem one order of nacho fries daily for 30 days via the Taco Bell app. KFC loyalty members can get a free order of secret recipe fries of any size with any online purchase today. Wendy's has been offering free fries on Friday since April, so they're good there. Smash Burger customers can get regular size order of smash fries in person or online using the code Friday24. Raising Cane's, you can get a free order of French fries for club members. So there you go.
All right, take advantage of that.
Finally, Fritos, which I have like all the time, John.
You do every day.
The movie Twister came out.
Oh yeah, it's
in
like
the
a
90s, and now they're doing
sequel?
like a sequel to it.
Let me guess. There's tornadoes.
Very good, John.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
So you saw that one.
There
Yeah.
are tornadoes. Well, Fritos, John, is coming out with is partnering with Twisters to come out with a special Fritos Twisters bag of chips. But the catch is it's 2 flavors combined.
Oh,
so
okay.
Fritos Twisters have Flamin' Hot Fritos and Cool Ranch Fritos in one bag.
Combined. To me, it's a little weird to like commemorate or like do like a special about like a natural disaster,
right?
Because like those things cause some serious havoc.
Yeah, thankfully we don't have to worry about those here.
Yeah, not right. Exactly.
I'm sure Brent has dealt with a few tornadoes.
Oh,
Maybe.
yeah.
Oh, you know what they say about Wisconsin and tornadoes.
I don't know.
We
They
get them
say
quite.
nothing.
We get them quite a bit. We're not
But it's
Oklahoma
not
or
Kansas,
anything.
yeah.
It's not but we get them a lot.
So there you go. Fritos with hot Fritos and Cool Ranch Fritos in one bag. I would eat that.
Oh, you would? Well, of course you would because you're like Mr. Frito.
Dude, I love
So no, I assume they're going to be like the Fritos twists, right? You know, like the corkscrew ones. You know what I'm talking about?
Those sound good.
Yeah.
Just because twisters and twists, it makes sense.
Here's what it says on their Instagram page. Let me just open this up here.
I don't know about the new Twisters movie, by the way. I like the first one a lot when I was a kid, but it's just one of those.
First one was really good.
It's one of
The
those.
second
It's
one
just
sucked.
like, did they really need a sequel? I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I don't know. I mean, what's gonna happen?
Here's what official Fritos Instagram said: a once-in-a-generation flavor storm is on the horizon. Will you be one of the few to experience Fritos Flamin' Hot Ranch flavor twist firsthand? Be sure to like this post, follow us, and drop a tornado emoji below for a chance to win. Be sure to see Twisters the movie in theaters July 19th.
Huh.
Again,
all right. If they're in our vending machine, I'm sure you'll pick them up.
They won't be in the vending
They won't be
machine.
in the vending.
Yeah.
The vending machine is
Probably get
very.
them at the gas station.
Yeah, vending machine is very like tried and true.
Yeah.
They don't rock the boat.
Guys, though, they are half flaming hot, though.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
is that right?
If there's one thing our vending machine loves, it's flaming hot everything.
We have like 4 rows of flaming hot something.
Dude, I'm surprised they don't have like flaming hot gum in there. That's how bad our vending machine is sometimes.
Yes.
All right, here's the place to be this weekend. Naughty Barrel, 9th and Market, happy hour going on right now.
You got 7 minutes.
Padres and Braves are going on all weekend long. Get here, watch the games all weekend long. Great spot. Even if you don't have tickets to tonight, it's indoor, outdoor. They've got a dozen televisions or more inside this bar. They're going to have the Padres on. There's NBA Summer League on. So make sure to get here this weekend because the Padres are playing for a final time until like the end of July. This is the last time the Padres are home for like 16 days at least.
Oh, my gosh.
Because there's the All-Star break and a 9-game road trip.
This is our last time at Naughty Barrel
for 3 weeks.
Here until August.
August, so it's going to be 3 weeks.
August
3 weeks
2nd
from today.
against the Rockets.
And are you on your honeymoon?
No, I leave the next day.
Good, perfect.
Yeah, so you're welcome.
All right, good. Otherwise, you're not going.
Exactly.
All right, if you missed anything today, sportssd.com, iHeartRadio app, iTunes, TuneIn Radio,
Nice shirt.
Spotify.
There we go.
Follow us on social media at Jon and Jim, JONANDJIM. I want to thank our entire crew, Manny Valencia, our engineer. Thank you. Brent Sperry back in the studio. For Jim Russell, I'm John Schaefer. We will see you Monday at 3 p.m. Have a great weekend. Keep it here at San Diego Sports 760. Okay.
Peace out. Bye.
Bye-bye.